Hello. The morning starts with bells. It is September 6th. Sorry, no, it's not. This is wrong in my notes. I'm sorry. It is September 4th. It is September 4th at 8 in the morning. The Red Knight watches you and finds it easy to keep score. Taldred Talton, welcome to the land of the transgressive. Adelworthware, careful not to bend too far, lest you break. Did you have a watch? The night was quiet. You are safe here, as you have always been. You have a few moments to prepare yourselves. The action is with the party. You are here in your bedrooms or in the antechamber here below the temple.
Brenner would gather his pack and don his armor with assistance if possible, or strapping that bad boy on elsewhere.
I do have one concern about this missive. Now that I've had 2 minutes to think instead of a week. If we are to forge a missive from the leadership of the Fists, and say, specifically name this person that we desire freed, we are assuming that they have been told that this person is about to be executed, and if they have not passed such information on, they will immediately flag this as a fake.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you have an alternative in mind?
If you are having this conversation together, please get together here in the antechamber. And as soon as you leave the antechamber, let me know. Or this is a ready button moment. Please let me know as soon as you exit the antechamber. But if you're getting together here, let's get together here on the map. It is important. And I'm sorry. Please.
Log into Roll20. Hang on.
No worries. But I'm sorry. Please continue.
Well, it seems if we are to fake a missive from the leadership, the best option would be to assume that they have not been informed, perhaps, or keep it vague enough that we are not assuming things so openly. Perhaps state that this person is desired for crimes they've committed elsewhere and they are to be delivered immediately because someone else wants them.
I see. So rather than a call for specifically delaying the execution, just hand over a wanted poster and say she's more desired and somewhere else.
Yes, somebody high up somewhere, Waterdeep perhaps, wants her for something that she's done. I'm sure you can think of a crime that she has committed, yes?
We could keep it simple and ask for a stay of execution on any Zentarum agents.
Why would you specifically call it Zentarum and just say stay of execution of any prisoners temporarily? Do a blanket statement on everything. Try not to draw suspicion, and you can just claim that I don't know, pressure from other relative cities or something like that.
If I know anything about the Fist, and I don't, they seem like the bloodthirsty type. And I don't think no executions will slake that thirst.
Brenner Oswick.
Hey.
Slightly quiet, thinking with just a little bit of free, just a little bit of agency in your skull while everyone else is talking. Those bells are concerning.
Oh, so they are still ringing out. That is unusual.
Very.
I think the alarms are being sounded. And we should probably address this as quickly as we can.
Casimir, I'm sure you can figure it out. Let's check out these bells.
Oh, I'm figuring it out. Lovely. All right.
Nothing better than the present.
You open the door, and you see something. And you smell something. You see, on the table, the coffee table, a tarnished tea set, undoubtedly taken from the paladins, set out on the table. There is a carafe of warm brown coffee, a tin pitcher of cream, and a tiny bowl of sugar. Sitting by all of this is Roger Dale and his two companions. There is a bowl of biscuits, each stuffed with a chunk of salt ham. The ogre is chowing down, eating 3 biscuits at a time. Roger doffs his coffee cup at you.
Colonel entered the room, waving him as he dumps his coffee.
Nothing Gold looks at Tisiphone specifically.
She looks back at you with her black sclerid eyes.
Are there extra cups?
There are.
And there's extra coffee?
One can assume.
Taldra goes right for it.
Of course you do.
Thank God.
Did the divination go well?
Roger answers 4 to Tisiphone, to you, nothing gold. Well, I have several updates for you. But something that concerns me. You want the results of our divination on the fist, and yet you have an agent of the fist amongst you. Concerning.
Would you have us send him upstairs?
No, because I'm sure that you would tell him anyway, right? I think those are cards I'll keep close to my chest. However, I will give you something. 2 things, actually. Now, this is conditional. You, and during his pause, you realize that the bells are still ringing. You have to answer a question for me in good faith, but I will tell you the information first. Will you give me a good faith answer regarding our upcoming mission together?
Yes.
As you wish. There are 2 things I would like you to know. 1, per your request. Both of the majors of the fist are set up at the west gate. They ripped down the genie's tent and have made it their command tent. I understand that they are executing prisoners this morning. Secondly, regarding these keys, I'll put a finer point on something you may have already known. These portal keys take us to the loading docks. We may have the benefit of subterfuge, should you be able to keep your head down when we arrive there. Now, we would like to go first. Here is my question to you. When do you plan to take the portal? When are you planning on hitting the Zentarum?
Honestly, I don't think we've decided yet. We'll probably try to put it off as long as we can to make sure we're as ready as we can be.
I think that's heavily contingent on how today goes.
Roger runs his hands up the marble wall behind him. I have a funny sense that our time here may be limited. You may wish to make that decision sooner rather than later, and I expect that you'll tell me when you do. Deal?
Deal.
Agreed.
Of course.
Let's go see what those bells are.
Do you know? He's looking directly at Roger. He's like, do you know what the bells are for?
He stretches out a bit. Hope you didn't have any friends in the jail.
Breaks that into a run.
Brenner's directly behind her.
If you're moving, set yourself up in your intended order here.
Taldred is definitely at the back because he's walking quickly, but he doesn't want to spill his coffee.
Understandable. Taldred and Gasmere, the only ones who got a bath last night. Taldred feeling rather refreshed, filled with caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
Gasmere holding on to the last tendrils of civilization here.
Rage.
Do you?
No, not yet.
Everybody heading upstairs? One moment. As you head up the stairs, you hear a shouting match from inside Forbes's office. You hear New Paul. He says, "Look, it's 27,000 gold. Say what you will, that buys a lot of everything. Did you see what the apothecaries want for what they did for the miners? Did you see how much the Fist wants for the property taxes on the land that the temple holds? Even independent of the ethical flexibility that will be required, we have exigent concerns regarding the funding here of day-to-day operations." Hey, I'm not doing errands to pay property taxes to the fucking Flaming Fist. I think that we should be realistic. I refuse to go down like this. Samantha storms around the corner. Oops. She pushes past you with her pauldron, Brenner Oswick. Ada. Paul walks out of the door, looks you in the eye, and says, "Let's go to the garden now."
I'll nod and follow.
You do so. He looks over his shoulder, hurrying you along. The amphitheater seems incredibly empty these days. Nothing gold as you walk through the temple. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see, that's your blood there drying on the front entryway. Ada. Paul puts both hands on your shoulders and says, She is fucking dangerous. We have no business fighting the Fist or anybody else. Her insane axe to grind is not a good reason to get everybody killed. Did you know she killed 7 people at a score with that longsword of hers? Actual human beings, people with goals and dreams, that sort of thing. She is ice fucking cold while she does it, by the way. If you let her leave the city, she is going to come back with her old pals from the military. They're going to pretend to be Purple Dragon Knights from Suzale, but the core that they believe in is fucking dead. It is just an excuse to fight. But they believe in themselves, and they are dangerous. She is going to leave right now. If I were you, I would stop her.
What's her axe to grind with the Fist? Is she just a loyalist? Is that her only deal?
She's loyal to this country, or so she believes.
Why did she hail them as saviors when they came in?
Apparently it's an act. I don't know who. I have no idea what her game is, but you can sense how dangerous it is, can't you? You have to get her under
Lightly
control.
around her. I am confused. Bear with me for a moment. She's not going to run away this moment. My companions are out there to distract her. What is your axe to grind with her specifically? She said that you betrayed her, but clearly there was some misunderstanding. I'm just trying to get the line straight here because the actor that makes the least sense in this building is Samantha Ruthenberg.
You ask a particularly relevant question, but you hear something approaching. You're a Snailing, you see it. You hear a whistle, and you see a Flaming Fist detachment walking up the stairs.
As they had run off, Brenner, seeing Nothing Gold running off, calls out to her, "You can't go out there looking like you're going to get yourself killed."
She ducks behind him, and she's wearing a cloak, Ada's old cloak, that she has up over her head, but she will cast Alter Self to look rather pale and corpse-like, and perhaps like she should be executed, while still hiding behind Brenner. So she looks like Kamar now.
Eurus, you see Samantha look challengingly up at the Flaming Fist. Lapolezi looks down at her. We have no quarrel with you.
Samantha, you need to step back.
She turns around. What? Is the Fist arresting me?
No. But you seem to be in a foul mood, and I don't want anything to happen to you.
I seem to be in a foul mood. How about go fuck yourself? How's that for a foul mood? Are you letting me go or not?
No.
The Major and his contingent look at you. That wasn't why we were here, Manip, but if you want to keep her, we can help you with that. Now, he raises his voice as if to call out and let it echo through the hall. We broke one of our prisoners, and they gave us a name. A name we already knew, but we confirmed it. Nothing Gold. We are looking for her. We have incontrovertible proof that she worked with the Zentarim. We have a feeling that you are harboring her. I understand that this is not the first time someone has made these accusations, and we will close the book on this. That is why we were here. Manip, do you know where Nothing Gold is? She is a traitor, make no mistake. We have proof of this. Written proof.
I haven't seen her in days, sir.
Paul, Ada looks at you. Sorry, Ada. Paul, yes, Ada, Paul looks at you. He looks over his shoulder. I don't think we have time for this right now. Let's go now.
Forced to agree.
The Major peers around the Grand Hall. There's only 5 of them. How many of them are you? Are you outmatched or are they? He seems to be taking stock of this right now. Where is she? We know you're harboring her. Why would you harbor a Zentarim agent?
Talbot steps forward.
Do you
He
understand?
says, "You are absolutely right, sir." He says, "She is in fact a traitor. As you say, we haven't seen her in days, much like Yoro said. She abandoned us as well."
Where did she go?
How the fuck would I know?
You lot were the last ones seen with her.
Yes, in this temple. We have no idea where she went.
We haven't seen her since we left for the swamp.
His nostrils flare and his horse rears up a bit. Manab, why do you want to hold this one? He gestures toward the paladin. Samantha Rutherberg has her hand on the hilt of her sword. She happens to be standing over Nothing Gold's blood.
I just wanted to ask her some questions, is all.
An interrogation? This is hardly the time or the place.
Not an interrogation, just some quick questions, is all. And it looks like she's had a rough morning, and I don't want her taking this out into the streets. If anything, it's a type of crowd control, sir.
He...
Miss Ruthenberg is a free woman, and has not committed any crimes that you should detain her. I say you let her leave.
I did not say I was detaining her. I just said I wanted to keep her back for a few to ask her some questions.
If you wish to ask her friendly questions, I'm sure you can do that on your own time without involving the rest of the fist, correct?
Correct. That's why I have not asked them to intervene. This is something a lone Manep as myself can handle without having to call on the cavalry, if you will. Resources can be spent better elsewhere.
Gastmere. Samantha looks you in the eye. She looks particularly intense today. She gives you a slow nod and says, I'm a free woman. Now let me get out of here. She looks to the fist courser in front of her. Fucking move. This is my land. The courser looks at Lapalizzi. They let her pass.
I'll look at New Paul, gauge his reaction.
He looks back at you. Don't let her leave the city.
Unknowing of the attempts to stop Samantha leaving, Brenner would address the Major. Then why are you here?
We are here for a simple reason. We found one Zentarim agent, and we know that there are 2 here in the city. The second one is your former companion. We're here looking for her.
Emphasis on former.
Fine. That's what I said, former. I believe you. I have no reason not to. One of my men is amongst your rank. I don't think you'd lie to me.
No, sir.
You could make fast allies of us. If we could see this incontrovertible proof, it would certainly interest us as well.
Maybe Avery will show you. We found a written letter. She was corresponding, your friend, was corresponding with this other one, Kamar, who is absolutely a Zentish agent.
Despicable.
Do you understand that? We caught them passing letters. Do you know who they passed the letters through? The priestess of Sirik. Did you know that? Did you know that you
That's
were...
a very strong word, sir. Really. She's been shifty all along. I don't think any of us ever truly trusted her. And she clearly didn't trust us either, because we don't really know where she's ever going.
She's from. Feel free to look.
Yes, as I mentioned, you are free to look. Sir, to be honest with you, she was just assigned to this mission with the rest of us. We know next to nothing of her otherwise.
We don't need to look. We have wards here. However, that's interesting to know. Just assigned here briefly? Did she leave anything with you? Personal objects? Things we could use to scry her out?
Not with me personally, no.
Didn't get close.
Alder just shrugs.
Nothing? Not a handkerchief? Nothing?
Leslie, she was more prone to taking objects that didn't belong to her, so I'm sure you'll find our items on her rather than hers on us.
This is true.
You become aware of something. The bells just stopped. Lapalezi notices this too. He looks over his shoulder. I think our morning business is beginning.
Sir, if I may I inquire about the bells? They were ringing all morning and interrupted our morning meeting.
He looks a bit perplexed. You ring the bells to get the attention of the people when you want them to witness something, be it the royal ascension or an execution that should please them. We wish nothing more than to win the hearts and minds of the Arabellans. They'll be happy to see Zantharum agents fall. It will bring them great peace, don't you think?
Agreed.
And perhaps we should seek an audience from them. To see the Flaming Fist's hammer come crushing down. An easy way. If anything, she said, to gain fast ally. To stomp out the Zentarum within these walls.
He looks cynically in agreement. It seems a bit strange for you to agree so quickly and in that manner, Brenner, but he's not going to stop you. Why not? I suppose quick allies would be nice, wouldn't they? He grasps the reins of his horse. Come on, then. Fizz, let's move.
Of course, sir.
Time to arbitrate a few things. Nothing gold. I've been watching your token. Are you off and running?
Yes.
Okay. The rest of the party, do you make your own way? Do you accompany the Flaming Fists? Do you allow them to accompany you?
Yeah.
I will accompany them, yes.
In effect, while the retinue was entering the chapel, I believe as she has changed her form, Brenner would have shooed her out the western gate, assuming that she would make her way on her own.
Yeah, I mean, I think there would be some kind of signal, like, yes, I'm going over there.
Give me a few moments to set this up.
I think we're conspirators now.
Aren't we all Zentarum agents, if you think about it?
No.
Nothing gold. You bound through the streets. You move quickly down Rose Boulevard. You find yourself here at the West Gate. There is a massive crowd here watching the exhibition, and you see that there are a number of Flaming Fist guards keeping people well within the lines here. They have made a number of quick changes here within Arabel. The genie's tent, the top has been taken off, and they have converted it to a command tent. There is a cage in the southeast corner. Prowling around, you know, with a measure of dread, who is inside. It is your friend. She is well guarded. Up on the platform, you see the Grim Merchant and the Flaming Fist Executioner and Major Avery. Nothing Gold, you will have some time to set your first moves, while the rest of the party walks down the street in the retinue of Major Lapalesi. Him and his courser lead out in front. You observe that many citizens of the city are watching you march through the city with the Flaming Fist. How do you carry yourselves?
Right. As if with purpose.
Prideful, always prideful.
Always in the marching order. The fists demand.
Yes, there's probably slightly separate from the group.
How separate?
Not like separate enough that she seems to be making some kind of statement about herself with it, but not lagging too far behind. But basically, she's like, I'm too good to walk next to you, stinky soldier number 2.
One moment. You arrive at this scene. You hear Avery's voice boom across the square. Clearly, he wants everybody to hear this. Says, this man served the Zentarim. He trafficked their goods here. He flew the black flag here in this city, your city. He sent the proceeds of his dark trade back to Zentarum Keep. His actions here directly funded kill squads, assassins, tyrants. As a result, Zolan Blackheart, you are sentenced to death in the name of the Flaming Fist. Avery nods at the headsman, and the executioner's halberd is quick and silent. The Grim Merchant's head falls off with a thud. Avery signals to the cage. Get the traitor next. Roll initiative.
Shit, here I thought mine was good, but everyone else's.
Hit me with initiatives.
22.
22 as well.
Will you two roll that off?
17.
20.
17 as well.
Roll it again.
15.
7.
Brenner with a 22 plus, Gasmir, or Brenner with a 22 minus, Gasmir with a 22 plus. I got nothing golden there with a 20.
6.
28.
Mr. Talton with a 6. Euros leading with a 28.
11 for Ada.
Ada, roll me off.
17.
You are a 11 plus. The Grim Merchant's body is gushing blood onto the platform. None of the Fifth soldiers seem particularly perturbed by this. You watch the crowd recoil with a dramatic, massive gasp. The headsman confidently strides off the platform, his halberd still dripping blood. Yours, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna move quickly up towards the platform.
Take your move.
And I want to double time that if that's okay.
Taking the dash action.
Correct. So briskly walking.
As you briskly walk, all the soldiers look at you, but you're a member of the Flaming Fist yourself, so nobody moves to intervene, but you certainly catch everybody's eye as you bound down the flagstones.
Okay, it's as far as I can go.
You pass by a fire sworn. She looks at you with crossed eyes and says, "Come on up."
Major Avery, a word, if you have a moment.
He can't hear you. He is addressing the crowd. He is up on this platform. You called out to him. He didn't answer. Still your turn.
I will hold a speech action until he is done addressing the crowd. To try and get his attention, so I may speak to him.
He is paused. Currently, he is addressing the crowd in the larger sense. He's not currently speaking. Currently, there is a dead silence in the air. You hear murmurs from the crowd as they watch. You hear somebody retch. You hear the sound of dry heaving. You hear somebody cough.
Major Avery, a quick word, if you will.
He looks down at you from the platform. He has to move himself a little bit. A quick word. Now's hardly the time.
Unfortunately, now has to be the time.
What is it?
Would you mind stepping down? I don't want to have to yell this information.
I would mind stepping down, actually, yes. What is the nature of this?
It's related to our lost companion.
Your lost companion.
The small one.
Mana, this is very interesting, and I do want to hear this, but not now. This is hardly the time for us to be having a conversation about that. He addresses the crowd for a moment, letting his voice boom. Do not worry, countrymen. Justice is still being performed this morning. Still your turn, Yoros. Just hold on, everybody. It's okay. Justice will be served. The crowd murmurs.
I got nothing else.
Lissa Gasmere.
Smith will keep strolling along the street, and as I calculated, I should be able to get about there-ish with my movement. And I think I might just prepare an action to do something violent as soon as somebody else does something violent, because gas making smelly on the air.
What action do you prepare? Are you preparing broadly an attack, or if something were to transpire, you'd want to take the rest of your turn?
Oh, if you allow that latter to be an option, then yes. If something were to happen, I guess delay my turn or something. So, if I just picked a single action, I guess I'd probably throw a knife or something fun like that. But currently, I think my action more depends on the actions of other people.
Entirely understandable. We'll let you hold that action. Sir Oswick.
The wrong thing. Can be said. I think at this point, Brenner's heart's beating pretty fast. He's trying to judge just how many soldiers are around here.
Roll perception.
I naturally crit.
You detect 1. A fire team of archers up on the wall, 4 of them with longbows. You detect that Avery has a regiment of 4 soldiers with him. And you know that you came in with Lapalesi and his 4 retainers. You assume that there may be other soldiers just outside of earshot here as well. You sense the walls closing in. Still your turn, Brenner.
We'll join ranks with Lissa. At this point, I feel like he's clutching the spear as tightly as he possibly can, judging, to the best of his abilities, how stupid he's about to be.
Anything
And
else?
hold his action also to throw the spear, if things were to go on.
Nothing gold.
She will rush forward.
Nothing gold. What do you look like right now? Yourself?
No, she looks like Kamar.
Ah, that's right. Yes, I apologize.
In a cloak, but still not. So if she gets up here behind Yoros, what condition does Kamar look to be in?
She is bound and gagged. She appears to have been brutally beaten. She is slumped over against the cold iron bars as the executioner approaches. As the headsman approaches to bring her to the executioner. She looks relatively catatonic, as if she's likely been tortured.
Okay, I think she'd give Yaros like 15 seconds to do something, and then so this may be another delay action, but if the the executioner goes to the cage where she is, then she will summon her wildfire spirit.
You are also holding your action where you are, is that correct?
Yes.
You do so. Next up is Avery's regiment. The archers, up on the wall, observe some of the sudden movements. The captain calls out. He says, "Careful now. Draw." All the archers draw an arrow. The Flaming Fist closes ranks. They observe people charging down the road toward the executioner's platform. Avery takes a step. He looks down at you imperiously, Yoros. He says, "Keep your damn distance. I don't know what you're doing here or what this conversation you want to have is, but it'll have to wait until after we meet justice to these traitors. Captain, go ahead." The Blaze Lord, the headsman, opens the cage. Was it even locked? Is it necessary to lock a prisoner like this inside of the cage? Takes Kamar by her bindings behind her head and starts to lead her toward the platform. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Ada Worthware.
I'm surrounded by the fist, right?
You most certainly are. You arrived here with Labolesi's regiment. You are surrounded by the fists and Taldred.
Can I see the platform from my perspective?
You can, through the trees. And you see and sense that something is afoot based on the actions of your comrades. You watch them rush down the street. You watch the guards move to challenge them. Up high on the wall, you can see that the fire team of archers all has an arrow drawn. You're not sure why.
I'd like to try and steal a glance at the people around me and see if they're even paying attention to me.
Roll perception.
Sorry, I'm just reviewing my clothing. Expertise and perception. I knew it.
You sense that you are merely one more commoner to these people. They observe you, they know you're there, but they don't really consider you much of a threat.
Can I step out of the way?
Absolutely you can.
I don't want to rush up to the platform. I want to move so that I am not in their field of vision. And I have a prominence to the platform. So it's like something like this.
You could scramble on up on these broken crates, should you try to be getting a little bit of height advantage here, if that's what you mean by prominence.
Yes, I would like to be able to see the platform if possible. Let me measure something. Very good.
From these broken crates, you can see a prisoner with a bowed head being brought up onto the platform. Still your turn, Ada.
I would like to hold an action. I would like to... Tell me if this is possible, so... If I think this is possible, so don't fall on my head when I do it. Fall on my face, really. Can I time the spell Banishment for the moment the axe is about to fall? The Banishment is like the, it's imprisonment, but downranked.
So the rules on this, because I looked up readying spells, you can. It's very obvious you're doing it. Like, you have to hold the spell, basically. Like, you're holding it on you, and your hands are glowing and shit, so it's very obvious what you're doing.
Okay, so that's not going to work.
Yes, not subtle would immediately be interpreted as a hostile action would be my take on that. So this would be an immediate hostile action, and your timing would have to be exceptional. You sense that if you're really trying to get this beam off before the axe hits her neck, it would be a split-second maneuver.
It would be legendary difficulty.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'm powerless. I'm a spectator. I will pass my turn.
Can I jump in? I held my action. Can I take it?
Yes, I have 3 people. Well, first let's go down the line. So people with held actions. At the top of held actions is Gastmere. Do you do anything with your action?
I think mine would still be after nothing goals.
And Taldred hasn't gone yet, too.
Taldred hasn't gone yet. Lapalesi's. Yes, we are. So let's do it again. So okay. So Gastmere, you remain holding your action. Brenner Oswick,
Still holding action.
still holding action. Nothing gold. Go ahead.
Am I able to do another speech action, or is that blown for me?
You can talk when it's not your turn, but let's get this. So yes, I will circle back to you in one moment. Nothing gold. Get your thing out. Your whatever is fermenting. Let's open the jar.
All right. Jar is open. We're gonna summon the wildfire spirit right here, so that's within 30 feet. It's like a bomb is gonna go off, so it will not hit Kamar, but it will hit. Let me check the range. Uh, 10 feet. So they have to make a dex saving throw.
What's your spell DC?
15.
Okay, 1 moment.
Well, it's gonna be fire damage, which I don't know if that means you even roll for that, considering Flaming Fists.
I have rolled for it regardless. You have 2 passes and a fail.
All right.
You cause a massive fire explosion. Is that correct? You do so. There is a mass of shrieking. The civilians panic. The Flaming Fist all immediately prepare. You hear battle gear being readied. The explosion seems entirely absorbed and buffeted by the red and orange armor of the fist.
Okay, so that was the action. Bonus action, fiery teleport. So it will try to grab Kamar, and it does say it has to be willing. The person has to be willing, but then they can teleport up to 15 feet away.
She is catatonic and cannot assent to this. The smoke from your explosion fills the air. Still your turn. The civilians, seeing the fire, are clawing and pushing and shoving to try to get out of the way to avoid the vengeance of the fist. Screams fill the air.
Would it be something to attack the wooden platform that they're standing on?
This is a fairly sturdy wood structure on soil. It may start a small smolder, but not like a blazing fire, nothing like that. Yoros, you can smell the sulfur from this explosion.
Do I even know she's behind me?
I don't... Good question. I don't think so. I think you were very busy corresponding with the Major, and it is thus that you're not sure who could have creeped up behind you. You assume it's one of your companions.
Yeah, even if it's just a small fire, I think it will just attack the structures to this platform here.
Say that one more time.
Even if it's just a small fire, for the bonus action, because it still has a bonus action, it'll just attack the structures to this wooden platform.
Understandable. Your fire spirit lashes out with the power of flame, just in anger, trying to start a fire on this platform. Is that right?
Yes.
Given that what we now have certainly resembles combat to the two people holding their action, Brenner and Gasmere first, do you use anything with your held action?
Do I just take one action, or...?
You used, as far as I know, you used just your movement to get here. So I believe, although I'm relying on you to track this, you still have your action and your bonus.
It's going south real fast. I'm going to rage. She is sprouting scales and claws. At which point she also gets to instinctively pounce forwards. 20. Which gets her next to Yoros, I believe. And she's going to fling a dagger at Major Avery.
Make your attack roll.
And she's going to say, "You're going to make time to talk to us, or we might just take your head off." Terrible.
You threaten him. You demand that he make time, and he certainly sees you, looking you in the eye as you fling a dagger directly at him.
It's a 14 plus a 7, which is
21 misses.
21 misses.
You get a sense the dagger actually doesn't miss him. It deflects off of his armor.
That is some hefty armor.
It is. Anything else from your turn?
I think I'll have a second attack in theory. I'm just trying to decide if I actually want to use it or if I'm trying to make a point here or something. No, I'll spare it.
Brenner?
I don't think Brenner could make a shot at this point. towards his target, so Brenner will close ranks with Lissa.
You do so, forming a bit of a vanguard here. You feel a bit surrounded.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anything else on your turn?
That's it.
Ada, you see all of this transpiring. You see this situation immediately devolve into violence. Lapalesi's regiment goes next. He sees this happening. The civilians are now streaming through the street. The courser's horse rears up with a loud whinny as civilians run right past it. They move immediately to keep the peace. The courser is mounted. He takes the spear off of his back. He rides over confidently to your group. He calls out, "What do you think you're doing? What is this? Is that a fucking dagger you threw?" Lapalesi calls out, "Fis, let's move. With me."
Do I notice Gas, Mir, and Brenner striding up to me, I suppose? And do I notice her throwing the dagger?
Gastmir is unmissable. She is a being of shadow and fury. Brenner, perhaps a little bit more subtle.
At this point, silent but still fuming.
So, in the case, since I noticed that she threw a dagger at my commanding officer, I'm going to look at her with an astonishment and largely disbelief, and kind of take a step back, if you will let me.
I think that's probably the point that Yoros realizes that someone's directly behind him.
Yeah. And then I will also be surprised when I see our blacksmith friend.
Kamar too.
Kamar too. Look, he didn't see that pitching post. He's not going to see me.
Lapalesi's regiment ends their turn. Taldric Talton.
Have fun, buddy.
Taldric is trying to like weave through the crowd relatively unnoticed. How plausible do you think that is?
How about, there are two ways that you can approach this, Mr. Talton. One, using insight, you can attempt to blend in and be one of the teeming masses as much as that idea brings disgust to your mind. Or, instead of using insight, you could try to stay low, use stealth. You know that you move relatively silently in your armor.
He would definitely try to read the crowd, though. Like, that's definitely how he would approach it. So I think I'll go inside.
Let's see it.
$14.
And you are attempting simply to blend in?
It's like, I'm simply trying to approach in a way that won't get the other Flaming Fist people thinking that I'm about to throw down, or even that I'm involved with this in any way. Like I'm just like trying to see what the hell is happening.
That is your intent. Time will tell how it is received. But yes, you attempt to blend in with the crowd as if you are not a party to the combat that seems to be ready to transpire.
Yeah, he'll move to like, I think I can get there with a dash, which would probably be, I mean, I get further, but this is as far as I would like to go. Just kind of like he's just like peering from the bush, you know?
You do so. You are in partial cover here inside the foliage that dominates the eastern side of the avenue here. Still your turn, Taldred.
Nope, that's all I got.
Top of the order, Euros. You find yourself at a crossroads. It's your turn.
I'm gonna make one step towards Avery, away from Gasmere, while facing Gasmere. And then I'm gonna shout over my shoulder to Avery. This doesn't need to be a conflict. Please just let me talk.
Doesn't need to be a conflict. What the fuck did she just throw at me?
I don't know. That's why I want to talk.
You get the impression your next words count dearly.
You gave me this armor to carry out a mission. You're impeding my mission, and I urgently need to speak to you.
We're speaking right now. This is above and beyond what I can tolerate from my underlings. Stand down.
I am standing down, sir. But to carry out this mission, I need everybody to stand down, and it is very important that I have access to that prisoner you're about to execute. We need her to find the little one. She has the key to the portal.
That prisoner is a Zentarim turncoat. She's an informant. We beat it out of her. We are past the point of negotiating anything. She is a traitor to us, to you, to the city of Arabel. There is no reason in the world that she should be spared.
And I agree, but at this moment we need a traitor to find a bigger traitor.
I think not. I have worries about the frame of mind that even led you to where you're standing right now and what you're thinking. Why? Why is it in anybody's best interest to protect someone like her? We don't need her to find anything. Anything she knows, I assure you, we have gotten out of her head.
With all due respect, sir, you gave me this mission because you trusted me, and I'm asking you to do it one more time.
Roll persuasion. You're right, Manip. We did trust you. It remains your turn, Euros.
I'm trying to see if I have something I can do. Give me a second.
Take your time.
This technically doesn't count as a saving throw or an attack roll, does it?
No. The civilians are fleeing the square. The archers are ready to fire. Gastmere.
Let's see. Okay. The only thing I could do wouldn't apply to this situation, unfortunately.
Time is moving very quickly, too. This is all happening in the blink of an eye.
Well, I mean, I can't reinforce my persuasion roll, so, and I've already used my action for speech, so. And unless we've technically entered combat, I can't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I could add something to it, but I don't know if it's past the point of being able to influence it.
If you got something, call it out very, very
Okay.
quickly. Very
Flash
quickly.
of insight +4
What, to his persuasion roll?
to his 17, so he would have a 21.
As you stand there, looking up at Major Avery, the wildfire spirit has ignited the platform. It is now blazing fire. The fire stands up to Avery's waist. He is standing in the middle of the flames, not cooking at all, looking down at you like a demon from Avernus. Gastmere, it's your turn.
Are you going to unhand the prisoner?
You see the flames reflecting in his eyes. He already has his hand on his sword. You just threw a dagger at him, and he watched you do this. He smartly ignores your question. You sense, if anything, he is sizing up your physical weaknesses right now. Your question deflects off of him just like your dagger did.
Then die! She lunges at him.
In the fire?
Yeah.
Great way to keep raid.
Great way to keep rage is also to hit something. Not to get hit. I'm attacking him. It's not gonna hit.
That's important. Let's hear about your miss. Would you roll?
Well,
He reposts that. Does a 23 hit?
yes.
He skewers you. As your attack misses, he brutally counterattacks for 15 slashing. It remains your turn.
Goes down to 7, I believe.
Wait, how much damage?
To her, 15 slashing.
15. Okay.
15 half to 7. Casimir takes the hit and cracks her neck, hisses and grins and goes for it again. That is a 21 again. God.
21 misses. It deflects off of his armor.
2 more attacks. 18 plus, so that might actually hit. 25.
25 hits.
This is a claw. 5 plus 6 is 11 points of slashing damage. As she tries to clip him somewhere unarmored with an upward slash of her claws.
You catch his armpit.
And I believe I have one last attack. Which crits. Do I have something that happens when I crit? I think I do.
Actually, this is just a normal hit. You sense that your critical hit, you were going to hit his neck. Your claw was going to sink right into his neck, but he's wearing a gorget, isn't he? Your claws bounce off. Just a regular hit.
That is 10 points of slashing damage.
You catch a bit of his chin, raking off ribbons of flesh. Anything else on your turn, Gasmir?
I think I have a bonus action, but I don't think there's anything that I can do with it because I'm already raging.
You can do one thing. You can take 4 fire damage from standing in the blaze.
That sounds fair.
Bren Roswick, you see Lissa Gasmir lunge and throw herself into the fire. It's your turn.
Up to this point, Lissa Gasmir is the only person he trusts on the front line. He looks daggers at Yoros as he is in motion towards the executioner. He will bark out, "I'm keeping one promise today. Do not make me keep 2." Hoping to God that he understands what he meant. And trying to get the executioner away from the prisoner, he will spear charge the Flaming Fist Blaze Lord, this guy right here.
As you wish.
It's a 21 hit.
21 does hit.
Sorry, new math. Little.
This is with your spear, is that right?
Correct, it's the new spear. I just had to check the new damage numbers on this. And piercing, non-mitigatable damage.
You pierce him in the ribs. It remains your turn. Blood runs down your spear.
A natural 20 to twist the spear. He's made his mark. He's seen what Drow can do at this point. He's gonna pull and twist.
You twist it in his ribs.
That would be 12 more damage. The modifier is never doubled, correct? It's just double dice?
Correct. Double dice, add the modifier.
Cool. So 12 more unmitigatable piercing damage.
You twist it between his ribs. You hear bones crack. You see healthy, bright red rivulets of blood streaming down the shaft of your spear. Anything else for your turn, Brenner Oswick?
Sure is. Finding purchase, he wants him off the spear. I'm going to try to batter him away with his shield to slide it off of the spear. The shove action bonus thing from the Shield Master feat, which is a contested athletics or acrobatics check.
He automatically fails this contested athletics check, being that you have a spear shoved into his chest right now.
Hell yeah. I would like to knock him back 5 feet right here.
You do so, using your shield to push him off of your spear. There is a foul splut sound as your spear pulls out of the massive cylindrical wound you just created in his ribcage. He falls to the ground, looking significantly worse for wear.
At this point, Brenner bellowed. In all combats up to this point, Brenner has only barked out some order. He's enraged, not barbarian enraged. Looks directly at Major Aver. Or Cormir. end my turn.
Nothing gold. Disguised as Kamar, you watch as your fire spirit is doing an excellent job creating a blazing fire here. However, you have concerns that this could easily turn into a pyre. It's your turn.
Yeah, I mean, we're just throwing anything at the wall to see what sticks, right? But there are also these archers that could prove problematic. So I think she's gonna run forward a little bit and cast Wind Wall. So it's gonna be kind of like a circle this way, with just a gap here for people to run through. The people that it goes through, these two will have to make a strength saving throw. 16.
So this is the Executioner and Avery only, is that correct?
That's correct.
He says strength saving throw DC 16, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, one moment. Avery fails, the Executioner passes.
Okay, so Avery takes 11 points of bludgeoning damage. The Executioner takes 5. And then arrows that get shot through this wall will automatically miss.
One moment. Got it. Thank you. Still your turn.
Alright, bonus action. Healing word on Kamar.
Roll the healing.
14 points.
You sense that your healing closed some of her open wounds and dramatic contusions on her face. Anything else on your turn? Nothing gold.
That's it.
Avery's regiment goes. Avery, battered by the wind wall, sees what you just did in Nothing Gold. He watched you cast Healing Word, and he does something you don't expect. He grabs Kamar by the throat and slams her into the platform. The platform is roaring with flames. He kneels down, and you can barely see his silhouette. The flames are taller than he is when he is kneeling down like this. He is holding her into the fire. The captain, up on the wall, calls out, "Loose!" All four archers fire at Brenner Oswick. The wind wall deflects all 4 arrows harmlessly upward. The executioner takes his halberd and attempts to skewer you, Gastmere. What is your AC?
I think it's 17. Let me check. 17.
His first attack misses. He winds back up. And this time, he tries to come down on you with a strike that mimics him taking someone's head off. He attacks at a penalty, but goes for your neck. He misses, just barely. The halberd swings inches from your poor, vulnerable neck. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Ada Worthware.
Oh boy. This is not the first round of combat.
This is the second round of combat.
Yeah. So tell me about the civilian situation here. Can't just throw a fireball.
Civilians are streaming through the west gate. They are below the archers right now. There are also civilians running, screaming, carrying on, knocking each other over as they head east on Rose Boulevard, down the way that you came. Some of them are pushing past the flame guards that look a bit overwhelmed. They can barely see from back there. They don't really know what's going on. You sense, as you sit here in the back perched up, that Lapalesi's regiment, all of the Flaming Fists associated with him, are preparing to move. They are all winding up for an action. You have just a bit of a jump on them.
Okay. I would like to cast Fog Cloud, centered on Lapalesi's group, upranked by 1 step to increase the radius to 30 feet. I would like to obscure virtually all of the battlefield behind the wind wall.
Behind the wind wall.
So between me and the wind wall. The wind's going to blow the fog cloud away if I let it. So I don't want to intersect the wind wall.
Understood.
I want to create a zone of confusion
between the wind wall and you, basically. So everywhere outside of the wind wall, I understand. What does Ada's fog cloud look like? Normal fog?
Yeah, it's just a typical dense foggy bank.
Thick.
I would like to also, after I do this, I would like to move out further back.
Understood. Resolving it in that order. First, heavy white fog fills the scene, descending from clouds that do not exist. From the edge of the wind wall west to the walls of the city is covered in a thick, soupy fog that obscures anybody moving through it. And then you move. Where do you move to?
So, like, roughly like this. Is this correct?
Looks perfect to me.
Okay.
You find yourself in the command tent.
Is there a lid on this thing? Can I see out? Is it just like a pavilion?
There once was a lid. Now it has been taken off.
Are there walls?
There are small... You can sort of see how they're rendered. There are horns, some ancient bit of ivory holding up walls that serve more as demarcations than structures.
I'm trying to put myself out of line of sight of the archers.
You are currently in line of sight of the archers. They can see down into there. They are up on the wall. The walls are 15 feet high. They can see down into where you are.
Now, they're not looking at me at the moment. I could
Correct.
cozy up to this wall and get a point on this corner.
If you were in... If you would be in full cover there, I would say.
Okay. I'll do that.
Anything else for your turn, Ada Worthware?
Nothing else.
Lapalesi's regiment moves. They are taken off guard by the sudden drop of fog from the sky. Lapalesi looks up in the air. What the fuck is that? He turns to his troops and says, "Fist on me, let's go, move." His soldiers close around him. He takes half of his movement. 1 moment. The courser charges through the wind wall, and nothing gold. He tries to run you down. Make a dexterity saving throw.
16?
You narrowly avoid the hooves of his horses as he attempts to trample you in the street. He rides just by you and attempts to catch you with his spear as he goes past. What's your AC?
17.
He critically misses. He drops his spear. It lands in the street with a clatter. He calls out, "Fuck!" Lapalesi's regiments ends their turn. Taldred, it becomes your turn as you feel yourself suddenly enveloped in thick white fog. You see this group of Flaming Fist soldiers coming down the street, going just past you as you are in partial cover, now full cover. As the soupy fog moves in, it is your turn.
Well then. Tell you what, this is how I'll resolve this. 1 second. Okay. Taldred keeps his head, and he heads towards the little opening, because I think he'd have seen it before the fog dropped, and so he'd go, okay, I just hug the wall, and I can make it. And my movement speed is halved, right?
As long as you're within the... I was just... The system I was just using for Lapalesi's troops is I was double counting its movement. So double count your movement as you're moving through the fog, and then go back to normal once you're out of it.
Gotcha. So 3 moves would get me to there, though. So at least I was able to get out of it. The Flaming Fist Firesworn in front of me, what's she up to?
She is watching. She is watching Euros. She is wondering exactly where his loyalties lie, and she looks a bit overwhelmed, as if she's not sure exactly what's going on. This all happened very suddenly. She has her hand on the hilt of her sword, but she has yet to pull it out. You get the sense that not everybody in the employ of the Flaming Fist is a hardened soldier.
Told her to move up next to her. And he'll see her kind of shaken. And he'll say, "You should sit this one out, sport. You'll be better for it."
Roll persuasion.
"24.
She says, "I serve the Flaming Fist," but she looks over her shoulder at the fire and the brawl that is blossoming on the platform. She looks to you, Euros.
I just nod at her to stand down.
Taldred, it remains your turn.
I've got really nothing else I can do, so I'm right here.
The round ends. Everybody on the platform, it takes some fire damage. 1 moment. Gasmir, you take 7 fire damage. The flames lick everybody on the platform. At the top of the order, Euros. It becomes your turn.
So as a quick reaction, I'm going to use Control Flames and snuff out all the fire on the platform.
You do so. The fire becomes nothing but smoldering embers. They die down immediately. You see that Major Avery is holding Kamar by the throat to the platform. It remains your turn, Euros.
I'm gonna hold the rest of my action if that's okay.
Of course. Gastmere. You find yourself suddenly extinguished. You are now standing on the charred ruins of this platform.
I think I still have my rage to keep me warm. Question, because you said that Avery is kneeling. Is he considered prone in a way that attacks against him would have advantage?
He's not considered prone, but yes, if you wanted to line up an attack on him, I would say certainly at least your first attack would be at advantage. It would be pretty easy to try to cave in the back of his head, for example.
I'm gonna try and do that. And my first attack is with the rapier. That is a 22.
22.
Yes.
22 misses.
Decide if I want to use the rest of them on him or the executioner, who just took a swing at me, I believe. How dare.
Yes, he just tried to cut off your head with his halberd.
Sounds kind of unpleasant. Yeah, she's gonna turn around and look at the executioner and I will take the bonus attack action from that first swing against the executioner. $17.
17 misses.
Oh god. Well, 2 more attacks against the executioner, so she is swinging with her claws now. That definitely doesn't hit. That's a 2 plus something. And that's a 6 plus something. Oh my gosh. Basically, she's clawing at his armor, I believe.
You are almost in a fugue state. You are swinging and swinging, trying to claw and rend, and nothing seems to land. Anything else for your turn, Alyssa Gasmere?
I think that's it.
Brenner Oswick.
Yes.
I'm reading one thing very quickly to ensure I am not making a mistake.
Wouldn't want to make a
Read this
mistake.
correctly. I mean, we're already down that path. Across the table, can I pass through the fire elemental square as it is an ally, as though it...
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
it can hover.
Brenner will approach from behind where Art... Is he currently still kneeling, or did he rear back up from the...
He reared back up after Gasmere took a swing at him and it pinged off his armor.
Will rear back the spear, putting all of his weight into it. So I'm going to do 2 things. First is a precision strike, superiority die to ensure that this hits. The second would be a pushing strike if it does. I can't touch. 27. Do I need to...
27 hits.
So I do not need to increase that with a precision strike. That is something I can do after ensuring that it hits, but I will make that a pushing strike. It must make a strength saving throw against the 8 plus 4 plus 4, 16.
16? Okay. He passes. He holds his ground. You shove against him. You get a sense of how massive he is and how powerful he is with his legs shoulder width apart.
Even still, we hit a 15 total damage trying to drive the spear off of... Sorry, trying to drive him off of her. After connecting Brenner... Off of her.
Say again?
Off of her. Sorry, I'm probably going to peek my mic. Trying not to. Also not trying to wake up people in my house.
He glimmers at you with rage. His armor is blackened from the fire. Go ahead.
You can continue. I'm just going to continue attacking effectively.
Go ahead. Continue attacking. If you still have attacks.
Sure do. A miss. Well, action surge.
Was it...
Continue on.
Let's talk about that miss.
You can go for it.
Yes.
16.
Okay. He riposts you and attacks. Does 21 hit?
Sure does. That's more like it.
6 slashing. Still your turn.
$27.
27 hits.
9 more damage. And a 30 should hit.
It does.
Thank God.
An additional 10. Brenner's action surged and used a precision strike to ensure one of those did hit. Trying to get as much of his attention as possible at this point.
He's bloodied. You sense that you've grievously injured him by stabbing again and again with your spear. It's getting through his armor. You can't get the entire head of the spear in, but you can see blood running down his torso. Anything else for your turn, Brenner Oswick?
On me. He snarls to him and ends his turn.
Nothing. Gold.
Is Kamar conscious?
Absolutely not. She is currently on her side. She appears to be brutalized.
Alright, we're gonna use our action to cast Scorching Ray on Avery.
Okay.
As I try to figure out how these rolls work.
Make a ranged spell attack.
First one is 27. 25. 15.
Your first 2 scorching rays connect with him, but the fire does nothing to him. The fire envelops him, and he glimmers with power. He sees you doing this. He sees that you are a copy of his prisoner, and he seems to recognize something within you. He stares you down as you attempt to overpower him unsuccessfully with fire. It remains your turn, nothing gold.
Can my wildfire spirit grapple? Can it shove? It's got an action.
One moment. Let's read about
It's
this
got a
primal
will.
spirit.
Is there a way?
let me see. Is it like a...
It's an elemental.
Yeah, it's not corporeal, really. It's like, could a flame shove you? I think not. I don't think the wildfire spirit can grapple or shove. I don't.
It's immune to restraint, so I don't think it can do that.
I just don't think it has mass, really.
It can use the help action though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay, so it will, it'll help Brenner.
Brenner, you are met with a strange ally. Here, a fire assists you in fighting the Flaming Fist. Nothing gold. Anything else for your turn?
No, we're just mad.
Avery's regiment goes. First, Avery calls out to his troops. He calls out, "Captain, haste!" The captain, over your back shoulder here, nothing gold, calls out, "Haste!" Avery seems to move faster. The captain calls out over his right shoulder to the Blaze Lord, "Wall of fire." The Blaze Lord calls out, "Wall of fire." One moment.
Can they see through the fog to cast these spells? Don't they
The
need
fog,
line of sight?
the fog is way back there. They're way out of the fog.
Blaze Lord on the right.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That one. Okay.
there are two. There's a Blaze Lord and a Fire Sworn, and both of them are casting spells that they have valid targets for. The Wall of Fire. Let's see. How can we place this? Give me one moment. The Blaze Lord casts Wall of Fire, creating a ringed wall around the platform. This ringed wall... He shapes it as thus. So first, Nothing Gold, Taldrid, Gastmere, and Brenner make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Fire rises all around the platform.
14.
5.
18.
I used Indomitable class feature to reroll my thing to a natural crit.
There was a 14 from Taldrid and a 13 from Gastmere, is that right?
18.
18. Okay. Everyone passes except Nothing Gold. 1 second.
I have danger sense, which applies to this.
If you passed, you take 8 damage. If you fail, you take 16 damage. It's fire. Avery stands up and is moving very quickly. He moves with a shadowy alacrity. And he attacks you, Brenner Oswick. What is your AC?
24.
From his hip, he takes another weapon. It's a mace. The head is on fire. His first attack misses. His second attack, you get the sense he's highly zeroed in on this attack and is attempting to be as precise as possible. His second attack hits. Brenner, roll 1d6.
4.
Nothing happens. You take... I say nothing happens, that's... In addition...
additional effect.
Yes, exactly. You take... 3 bludgeoning and 12 fire. He swings one more time and misses. It goes very cleanly over your head. You get the impression you almost dropped this mace. The archers up on the wall hold their action. Their captain calls out, knock, hold, wait for a target. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Ada Worthware.
I'm gonna hold my action until Lapalessi's crew gets out of the fog.
Makes sense. They are the 11 minus, so they go right after you. You hold your action. They trudge through the fog. Oops. The courser has to bend far down. He leans out of his saddle to pick up his forgotten spear. It takes a long moment. Nothing gold. Would you take an attack of opportunity on him?
Oh, yes.
Roll it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
27.
27 hits.
$11 points of slashing damage.
You, as he leans down, you rip at his arm. It takes a layer of skin off of his forearm, and he gasps in pain. Lapalessi's regiment ends their turn, exiting the fog, spending most of their turn simply trying to get through the heavily obscured terrain. Ada, taking your turn now or after Taldrin?
Right now, I would like to cast telekinesis on Lapalessi, lifting him 30 feet into the air vertically.
With his
Off
horse?
Of his horse. I don't want to bring his horse.
Off his horse. Okay. You do so. One moment.
I believe there's a save here.
Okay. Yes, I believe there's two. I was just going to get his horse token ready, but go ahead. What is your spell DC?
I think it's 21. I think it's absurd after the eyeball went in.
Yeah, I was going to say you have a plus. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, 21.
And it's Dex?
No, it's... Sorry,
Con?
I'm looking it up.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. They make a strength check.
A strength check. Okay. Versus 21. He fails.
I lift them 30 feet straight up into the air.
You do so.
The fog cloud goes away because this is another concentration spell.
His horse, loosed from its master, rides north aimlessly, neighing. The fog dissipates. Lapalessi is currently, during your turn, he is quivering in the air, moving, trying to swim with his arms.
I would like to orient him away from me so he cannot see me.
You do so, maintaining your telekinesis.
I'm going to hold him there.
You do so.
I'm going to remain crouched and do my best to be unobserved by the rest of the melee.
Roll stealth. Let's see if you can do this. Kind of holding yourself behind this low wall. Both hands out, holding him up, taking slow breaths, trying your best, trying your best to remain undetected.
I'm
19?
curious, does being in cover give you any kind of benefit from stealth?
I think it's already gracious that he's even getting a stealth roll.
I kind of agree. I got a 19.
A 19. You think that you are remaining undetected somehow. You are barely holding on to this mummer's farce that you are somehow uninvolved in this. Taldred, anything else?
Yes, the
Sorry.
book unsuccessfully closes on my fingers.
Unsuccessfully. Got it. Understood. Your book slams closed, leaving a fine mist of dust around you. Taldred Talton, it becomes your turn.
Explain this fire attack to me that hit me.
This is a massive wall of fire. It is a pyre to the gods. It is 10 feet tall. It burns and scorches everything around it. It is right in your face right now. The flames are reaching high into the air. You are surrounded by the smell of sulfur and burning hair and burning flesh.
Yeah, okay.
You sense that the Blaze Lord in the southeast here is maintaining it with his hand. He is quivering and holding the fire up.
Okay. Oh. Taldred's really not much of a combatant. But this is kind of a familiar experience to him. A time where there was fire and soldiers in armor and people screaming. I think, yeah, I think it kind of makes him snap. So he's gonna move to right there, and he's gonna summon Spirit Guardians at oh golly, 6th level. And so 3. I'm not sure if you pick the number or whatever, but let's say 3 pristine snow white wolves are summoned.
You summon 3 snow white Arctic wolves from nowhere. You cast this as a 6th level spell, is that correct?
Yes. And you just hear him say, "Destroy the fist." And then he just points back to Yoros. He says, "Not that one." And it is important to note that he does not designate the one he told to stand down, because that's not where his frame of mind is right now.
Understood. I think it's even impressive that Taldred was able to keep Yoros in the front of his mind and tell his Spirit Guardians to spare that. Which 3 do you... Actually, you know, I'll randomly target it for you. Don't worry. Hold that thought.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, never... I'll designate targets for you if that's reasonable.
What do you mean designate?
So Spirit Guardians spawns these creatures, and when the creature enters the area, or when it sounds like don't you want these wolves to like circle around somebody or something like that, or are you just like holding them?
It's just a 15-foot radius around me. Anything caught in that 15-foot radius that is of the Flaming Fist, except Yoros, takes the damage from these on their turn.
It's like mechanically Warlock Hellfire.
Got it. Yes, I see.
Turn.
You can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by. Okay, I see. So
Yeah.
it's a point blank AoE that has friendly fire mechanics built in. Got it. Understood. And you're casting as a 6th level spell, so it's 68 radiant on a failed. Okay, and this is a Wisdom saving throw, and this is a 15-foot radius around you. Let me think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me make a bunch of rolls. Hold on.
Well, they don't have to roll it till their turn.
Started that turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
The damage is applied to anyone who enters it on their turn or anyone who starts it on their turn.
Cheeky in that sense, because in theory you could save somebody from it if they are in there, and you could drag them out before their turn starts. They don't take the damage. Not that I want to be giving the DM any tips. Don't do that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Bad.
I'm totally with both the tip of the day and the spellcast. Taldred, it's still your turn. It sounds wonderful. I'm with you.
Oh yeah.
You still have a bonus action. You still have a mouth that you have a bad tendency to use.
Bad tendency. You, sir. Does nothing gold look battle damaged? I don't even know if you took damage.
She's a tiny bit, but if Taldred even looks at her, she'll yell at him to go look at Kamar.
He wouldn't respond to that. Tell you what, let's up that ante. I'll use my bonus action to... Right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Bonus action for level 5. Or, nope. Level 4. Spiritual weapon. I don't know if it can attack on the turn you summon it on.
So yes,
You can.
hold on. Let me interject an important thing. So something I learned somewhat recently about 5th edition spellcasting rules. I think this is what Fomari was about to say. You can't uprank multiple spells on the same turn. So you can
also can't cast 2 leveled spells on the same turn. So you can
Correct.
cast a bonus action cantrip, or you could do it in the opposite order.
Gotcha.
correct. So you can't cast spiritual weapon in that way.
Gotcha. That's totally cool. Let me just double check this. Nope. Okay, yeah, I'm done then.
With a held action, Euros, seeing devastation around you and seeing the incredible speed at which people are getting grievously injured, both your allies and your allies, a variety of people are engaging in deadly combat, and now it is your turn for any held action you have.
So the first thing that's going to be gnawing at his mind is the fact that Avery said to him, trusted in a past tense.
He did.
He did. And then there's also going to be something gnawing at the back of his mind that also doesn't like that. So with his bonus movement action, he's just going to walk up to where everybody else is. And if Brenner will let him pass,
Brenner?
he's going to try and go right to the south of Avery and stand by the fire.
Do you have your weapon drawn?
I do not.
I don't know if Brenner understands. I don't know if Brenner would let you pass. At this point, he is locked directly in arms with him.
It sounds like you are, unless you want to shove Brenner, you are behind Brenner as Brenner is locked in mortal combat here.
In theory, circle around. I
So,
think you have
in
enough
that
movement to
case,
circle.
Okay, if Brenner's not going to let me pass immediately, that's fine. I'm going to use a speech action. Give me a second.
Take your time.
So so again, still gnawing at the back of his mind is the whole trusted thing, and then there's also a second thought gnawing at him that has a grudge against these guys, and I think that is becoming more of an overwhelming, like, shout in his mind. So with the speech action, he's simply going to state, if you don't trust us, then you were simply using us. And then with a bonus action that was held, I will put Hex on Avery.
You take a hostile action against the order to which you have dedicated the majority of your adult life. You put a hex on Major Avery. You sense that it lands, that sinks into him. You know that when you hit him, it'll hit much harder now. He sees this, turns and looks at you, The flames are all around you, and they're reflected on his armor. He says one word to you. Traitor. Still your turn.
I don't have any actions left because they were held. Because I used my main action to get rid of the fire.
Understood. Let's, at the top of the initiative order here, let's take our 5-er. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Hi.
Hey. Telekinesis is good.
Yeah, it's dumb. He'll survive the fall though, so I can't drop him yet.
I assume he's the second highest level person on this playing field, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a good use.
Yeah, I'll hold it as long as I can.
Also, wind wall, good.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
Avery's kind of a dick, huh?
that's what I've been saying since the beginning. In Brenner's mind, it was coming to this one day or another.
What?
Fighting Avery.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the
Honestly,
dark side.
Well, I was gonna fight you guys originally until he said shit.
It would have been really respectable to do so.
What?
I said it would have
Hi.
been respectable to do so.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he was already like teetering on it because of all the other shit he said, and then that you guys said, and then he just like he throws out that line, and that just like I don't know, like you know when somebody gives you like I don't know, like a backhanded comment or something like that, and like your anxiety and shit just gnaws on that like for eternity.
100%, yeah. It's like
One
the
of those
final
things.
straw.
Yeah.
Heard anxiety mentioned.
A lot of it. What's up?
Yeah, you at
Have
least
some anxiety.
half the cast does IRL.
Yeah.
Understandable. It's a very anxiety-inducing world that we live in.
That's the big truth.
I had to go in there and bribe my child with a piece of apple.
Happiness Palace.
Yeah. Just bribing him with little sweets and treats.
Press table, my heart rate pumping.
Yeah.
Where'd Samantha go? What happened there? You guys are just losing all kinds of plot NPCs, huh?
As much as Brenner specifically dislikes her, his helicopter dad watching Nothing Gold charge out into the streets, not the sky, completely distracted him from that scenario. So she's just gonna do her thing.
Yeah, I think it was a situation where we had to prioritize whether we were going to the execution or whether we were chasing Samantha's.
What about breakfast with Roger? How could you forget about this third option entirely?
Right? I want breakfast.
There's
Should
always
have done
second breakfast.
Well,
Yeah.
Todred at least got coffee, so he's amped up for the bath.
I get nothing.
Taldred has something better than coffee. Trauma.
Definitely.
With fire and party death.
Fire's dangerous. I don't know why the Nothing Golds of the world are set on setting everything ablaze. I would never do such a thing.
Do you think fire is simply a destructive force?
Great question. We'll say, here's a nice simplistic answer for you. Absolutely. Definitely.
Well, it's not singularly that.
Big check mark on the destruction box.
Finland is actually like 87% forest or something like that, so strategic like forest burning is a thing. Like you have to burn some forest sometime to get some new growth in there. It's a good thing.
Controlled burns. Is that what we're calling this?
Yes.
Everyone feeling ready to resume?
No, but let's do it anyway.
At the top of the order, Euros. First things first, roll insight at advantage.
Find it. Ah, crit. With it. Yeah, it's a 19 and a crit.
You realize that the odds here are somewhat overwhelming. You have a sense, thinking back to several tactical discussions that you've had both with your companions and with people that you've met and come to know, that if you can't take the head off of this Hydra, you will surely be defeated, and it's your turn.
So with that thought, my sword will quickly appear in my sword arm. Or, well, holding it in my sword arm. Not inside the arm. And so with the sword now summoned, he will attempt again to move past Brenner.
That's more like it. And at this point, he is definitely letting you pass if wanted.
Okay, and I will move here. And I will make my first attack against Avery.
Flanking rules?
Is he being flanked? I suppose so, but Avery seems extremely well armored. You get the impression that not much is going to get through. Go ahead.
So first attack was a 19, but I'm going to go ahead and use my ability to add a 2d4 to it.
Okay, good luck.
So that brings it up to a 23.
23 misses, and he riposts and counterattacks.
Okay.
What is your AC?
18.
He swings at you with his mace. Roll a d6. Nothing special happens. He misses. 14. The blow glances off of your armor. It remains your turn, Euros.
I'll follow up with a second attack. This one's a 25.
25 hits.
Uh, 15 piercing damage. From the short sword.
You get a good chunk of his shoulder. There's blood coming from his lips. The fire rises all around you, and he looks incredibly worse for wear.
Okay. I will then use a bonus action from my attack to hit him with a Wrathful Smite after that. So they need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
What's your spell DC?
17.
He passes.
Okay. And he takes 1 extra psychic damage.
Got it.
And that will be it for me.
Lyssa Gastmere.
As Euros comes up to join the combat, he's met with the Lyssa Gastmir's bloodied grin, which has entirely too many teeth. And since we are flanking, I believe all my attacks will be with advantage, correct?
Oh, wait. Sorry. I forgot about the hex, so he takes an extra 4 damage from both attacks.
4 damage from both attacks, so a total of 8
Eight more damage, yeah.
Is it necrotic or psychic? What is the...
Necrotic is hex.
Got it.
It's just plus 4 damage of whatever type I do. So the first one would be 4 piercing, the second one would be 4 psychic.
You sure? I think it is necrotic. I'm going to double check because it does matter. He has several resistances.
If it's a spell called hex, then that is necrotic.
Well,
Yeah.
So how hex works, it's a curse, and whenever I hit them, I just get a straight bonus to my damage rolls. And it's just a flat plus 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. He takes 8 additional piercing.
Sure, that works.
Got
This
it.
is Hex Blade's curse.
Yes, I was also looking at the.
Sorry.
Yes, that's why I was also looking at the text for hex. That's why I was like, we're just on a different page, but I'm with you. Okay. Do you have what's your next your question was, do you have advantage on all your attacks because he's being flanked?
Yes, I was confirming, like, is this the case? Because Yoros is directly on the other side.
You get advantage on your first attack. You get a sense. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
At this point, I think I'm gonna go reckless and get advantage on all of them, because we want this guy dead. Bad. So. The way Lysagasmir uses a rapier has no finesse to it. You've seen people use rapiers with great precision and, like, fanciness, but she is, like, taking a swing with fucking force. Which is not gonna hit because that's a 9+ stuff. Gonna keep hacking, because that's what I do. There's no riposte or... He already used his reaction, never mind.
That's correct. He used his reaction this turn.
No! That's so hard to actually hit. Okay, that's gonna crit.
He deflects the critical attack. It's just a hit.
Gonna hit. That is 8 points of slashing damage. And this is the last hit. Which is also not gonna hit. Scraping up that armor.
You are. His armor is made to exacting standards, you can tell. And he has additionally reinforced it with several pieces of armor designed to protect his weak spots. But you are getting through again and again and again, and he is covered in small wounds and blood. Fire is all around him, and you sense that he is truly a revenant as he holds his ground, surrounded by all of you and your companions. Anything else for your turn, Lysagasmir?
She hisses and spits. That's it.
Brenner Oswick.
So I have the help action from the fire elemental. Will that give me advantage or no?
On Avery, yes, on your first attack.
Okay. Before you attack, little dissension in the ranks, Cap. Some 29.
29 hits.
Nine more true damage.
9 what?
True damage, the piercing damage.
Got it. Okay, I understand. I see. You skewer him, catching his kidney. He spits blood. Brenner, anything else on your turn?
Went for another precision strike and missed.
Nothing. Gold.
Is it okay to talk strategy across the table, or is it better to...
Sure.
I would say we can't coordinate though.
Yes, I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
I guess I'm asking for advice. I feel like my options are either to try to get a hit on Avery, although most of my spells are fire-based, or go yank this Blaze Lord who has the haste spell up in hopes of interrupting his concentration.
Oh,
Knowing that Olive is due to act right after me.
there's also this executioner right here that seems to be trying to take people's heads off.
If you stop the haste spell, it will stun Avery for a round.
Yes, but the haste spell was cast by the captain, who's up there.
Lapalesi? No, it was cast by the mage.
No, it wasn't cast by this guy.
Whoever's gold ping is correct. Whoever's the yellow ping is correct.
Okay.
Also, if you step out of the wind wall, you're gonna get some arrows in your gullet.
Yeah, so I think that's not an option.
Basically, you all are fighting 2 people, and Ada is fighting 11.
So proud of her.
Ada's doing great.
I don't know where your kid is, but you're probably not going to be able to hit the major. Is there any, like, debuff or buff spell that you have? Or grout?
I don't want to interrupt my concentration on the wind wall.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have cantrips that don't do fire?
Yes.
That's like the equivalent of a mage punching.
Okay, so she's gonna run forward, so, ignoring, if they get an attack of opportunity, she will provoke it. She's not disengaging.
You will get an attack opportunity from this courser. He has his spear picked up and he is ready to stab with it. Should you move?
Go for it.
Okay, 1 second. 21.
That hits.
4 piercing.
Just kind of shrugs it off and keeps going. She is going to summon the last of her constructs, so this is going to be the Force Ballista. And it looks like a stag, so it's the same wireframe fire effect, but it's got big horns. That's her action, and as her bonus action, it will attack the Executioner. So make a ranged spell attack.
Your stag ballista aims right down the axis of its snout at the Executioner.
27?
27 hits.
So that's 21 points of force damage, and he's pushed back.
Five feet?
Yes, correct. 5 feet.
You do, and I'm sorry, how much? 15 force, is that right?
21.
21, okay. It remains your turn. Nothing gold.
Can she hop up? Like how far up is this bluff?
You'd have to use your action, I think. I think you'd have to use your action. Going up a way other than the stairs that are built for it would be your full action. You have to kind
Okay,
of
so
hoist
she
yourself up.
she'll come up to here and stop.
You do so. You see your friend, the informant, lying supine, smoldering a little on the middle of the platform. Anything else for your turn?
Just panic.
You do so. You fall into panic. Avery's regiment goes, and Avery calls over his shoulder, "Heal me, you fools!" The Blaze Lord maintains his concentration on the wall of fire. Who is within 10 feet of the inside here? Let's see. Nothing gold. Brenner. Yoros. Gastmere. Make a dexterity saving throw.
23.
16.
18.
Oh, I
14.
crit.
Pass. What was yours, Gastmere?
14.
You fail. First 3 people, you take 10 fire damage. Gastmere, you take 20. That Blaze Ward casts a spell. He points at Avery with his free hand. With his right hand, you sense him shaping the flame wall. With his left hand, he points at Avery. Avery's wounds close. The archers consider their options. Perhaps testing. They fire a volley of arrows. The captain calls out, "Loose!" All 4 of them fire arrows. They're deflected again by the wind wall. They move to reposition.
Can I ask a question about the wall of fire?
Absolutely you can.
Because the spell states that it is opaque, so anything that requires vision line does not go through it.
Correct. It is yes, the wall is opaque, so you cannot target things through it.
Warcaster still healed Avery.
He is the one maintaining it. He is purposefully right on the edge of it. So he is sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out with the purpose of using his wall to the most visibility. And he is immune to fire. Avery's regiment. Hold on, I'm going to roll something. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Ada Worthware.
What's the civilian status in the area?
They have almost entirely dispersed. There are a few people clawing at the ground, trying to get up because they were knocked down or trampled by the crowd. You see a young woman getting to her feet. You see an old man trying to pick up some sheaf of papers that he was carrying, God knows why.
Okay, so they're mostly gone, but there's still collateral.
Depends where you're aiming, but yes.
Yeah, not going to risk it. One moment.
Euros, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Maybe I did, but I didn't mark it down. You transgressed in here, and I'm sure you know when.
It is what it is.
Among others.
Avery transgressed against me, so it's fine.
Ada,
you're still keeping Lapalezzi up in the air?
Suspended. I have a minute. It's unclear how long rounds are in 5th edition, but you tell me when it's time for it to stop.
Will do.
Okay. I am going to cast the cantrip Toll the Dead on the Firesworn.
Which Firesworn? Got it. The Firesworn, the captain that is concentrating on haste.
Yes. Now I have Potent Cantrip, which means that they save for half of the normal amount. It doesn't go to 0 if they save.
I don't know your spell DC offhand, but I think that makes it impossible for him to save this. I don't think he can roll high enough to save this, so he fails.
Okay. Then it is...
He is full health, though, so he only takes the 1d8.
It should be 3d8 at 11th level.
Right, okay, yeah, I just mean you're not rolling the d12 quote-unquote hit die for this.
Right, thank you. And I will add my 5 from Evocation Master. $20 damage. Ding dong.
One moment. He takes 20 necrotic. Let me roll his concentration save.
Very good.
It's DC 10, and he passes. He holds the haste spell. Ada, it is still your turn.
I'm going to continue with my posture. I'm hoping that the chaos... Maybe... Ooh.
I was going to say, I'd like to have you roll something. So I'd like to have you roll, actually, a sleight of hand.
To see if I can manipulate this fella.
Well, to see if you can stay in full cover, being
It's the same roll.
quiet and careful. I don't know if you have a pip in it. I doubt it, but go for it.
I don't. 14.
14. Okay. You wonder if the archers up on the wall may eventually catch wind of what you're doing. Still your turn.
Probably. Yeah, that'll... I'm going to... move Lapalezzi if I can.
Where to?
I'd like to move him over the wall. So if he fell, he would fall inside of this retaining wall.
Okay. You suspend him high in the air. You hear him gibber something incomprehensible as you toss him through the air.
That'll be my turn.
Lapalezzi's regiment goes. You watch as the two Firesworn on the right that have been reluctant to fight watch in horror as one of their commanding officers is levitated directly over top of their head. They both gape in awe.
Okay, now they take the spiritual damage, or the spirit guardian damage.
Got it. Walk me through it.
Well, first they have to roll, and then they have to see if they take half or not.
Got it.
Okay, so it's 24 on a failed save, and the save is just 17 wisdom.
17 wisdom. 1 second. And who are you hitting with this? Actually, I could figure
anyone within 15 feet of me.
Okay, this is going to be a bunch of rolls. 1 second.
But yeah, it's the 4 except the caster maintaining and the one above him.
And the horse.
And the horse.
He said the fist. I think the horse is not part of that.
All
Right.
four fail.
Yay.
How much was it on a fail?
24.
24. Radiant, correct?
Yes.
Got it.
Or is it 4? Hold on, it might be force.
It's radiant, you're good.
Yes, radiant.
You surge with power. Your Arctic wolves, purely spiritual, astral in nature, leap up and rip at these people from beyond this plane. Still your turn, Taldred.
Well, no, it's their turn.
It's their turn. Oh, that's right. Yes, this was. Sorry. Okay.
However, as a reaction, can I yell at them?
You can, and actually, they were mostly concluding their turn anyway. So go ahead. Yes,
Taldra was going to say, "Get back, or I will rip you to pieces."
you do so, and it becomes your turn. Take your action.
All right. I'm actually going to move with my wolves. Let me just do some quick maths.
Lepolizzi's soldiers are looking overhead, wondering what could be holding him in the air. Instead of combatants, they are mere spectators to what's happening around them.
Going to move to here. I believe that will give me both Avery and the Fist Blaze Lord on their turn.
When you move into the wall of fire, you will be scorched.
I was actually wondering about that. Oh yeah, I have my action. So let's put the crown on, which will cut that damage down to half.
Yes, and roll a dexterity saving throw.
3.
Fail, but it's still halved. Let me roll it. 23 fire halved.
Ooh, thank goodness. Wait, that is the half?
No. That's no. That's just that's very very close to a maximum roll there.
Yeah. So
Still
12.
Still your turn. Yes, that's 12 fire to you.
Okay. So putting on the crown, would that be action or bonus action? Which one do you think?
Bonus, I think.
It's considered handling an object.
Okay, fair enough. I'll move to here and I'll heal Brenner then. Shit, I didn't count that out actually. 1 sec. Hmm, 30. I guess that's good, right? I can heal Brenner from here.
Yes.
All right, let's give him rank 4 Cure Wounds. You get 37 hit points back.
I'm at full health.
Yay!
Done with your turn.
Yes, sir.
Avery's regiment, holding their action, takes their action. The executioner, recently pushed back, takes a 5-foot step, seeing 2 Kamars. He attacks both. First, nothing gold. He takes a swing at you with his halberd. What's your AC?
17.
He misses. He tries to come down with a Vorpal strike, with a deadly strike, on the Kamar on the ground, the real Kamar. He misses her neck, but embeds into the supine figure's shoulder. He chops at her body. Major Avery takes his mace and wildly swings around him, hitting, or attempting to hit.
I don't know if he rolls the damage before or after, but do your thing. He's going to take damage from my Spirit Guardian since he's in range of me.
Okay. Is that at the... Let me do his actions. Will you figure it out for me? Tell me if it's like at the end of his turn or whatever. Avery attacks you, Yoros. He looks you in the eye. This is your former commanding officer. He is now covered in blood. There is a thin stream of blood coming out of the corner of his mouth. His armor is scorched. He is standing within this wall of flame that is threatening to ignite the platform once again. He swings at you with his mace. I think this is a hit. Remind me your AC.
18.
He hits twice. Roll d6 twice.
6 and a 3.
You the following things happen in sequence. 1. He hits you with his mace. It knocks the wind out of you. He catches you in the ribs.
So-
Go ahead. You were going to
When
say?
he goes to make that first hit, I'll use my reaction for Armor of Hexes to kick in,
Okay.
and I roll a 6, and if it's a 4 or higher, it misses regardless of the roll.
Got it.
And for the second roll of damage, Brenner will use his reaction to use Interception to mitigate 1d10 plus 4 damage. Wait.
Got it. Okay, let's do the hex armor first, see if you completely mitigate it.
He did it. He rolled a 6.
You do. His attack hits nothing except for the demonic armor that clings to your skin. The second attack. Four physical, 16 fire, and
Minus 14.
minus 14. We'll call it 2 fire. And Euros, you notice something. When that second attack hits, you feel like you now share something with Avery. You gain fire immunity permanently. Avery's Warcaster goes.
Time out. So,
Time out.
Yes, it's the very first thing they do on their turn is they roll the damage. So let me roll the 68 real quick.
Got it. Okay. And they're making a wisdom saving throw versus this. Is that correct?
17 is the check, yes.
17. Okay.
37.
And fail and fail. 30,
Okay, they both take 37.
37 radiant. And when you say both, this is the Executioner and Avery. Is that correct?
Yes.
No, the Executioner is not close enough. It's the Blaze Lord.
The Blaze Ward. The Blaze Ward will have to make a concentration save. 1 second. So that's DC 17.
What's the difficulty on that? Like 18?
The concentration save, 17. They both failed the damage save. He passes the concentration save. He is ripped apart by the wolves, but closes his eyes, severely bloodied, holding the firewall together. And Avery's regiment. Let's see, last to go is that Warcaster. Hold that thought. The Warcaster casts Fire Shield on Major Avery. He is wreathed by fire. It reflects off of his plate mail. Their turn concludes at the top of the order, Euros.
So after shrugging off his hits, I will immediately follow up with a booming blade against him. Roll 24.
24 barely hits.
Sorry, that's... I don't know what I did. So he takes 10 piercing damage and then 2 thunder damage from Booming Blade.
You look at him. He makes eye contact with you, and you stab him in the gut. He slumps forward, falling face down onto the platform. It remains your turn.
So, if I am the one who technically killed him, I would like to use Accursed Spectre. And when I slay humanoid, I can cause the spirit to rise as a spectre that gains +5 temporary HP, roll initiative, which has its own turns, and it obeys my verbal commands, and gains a +5 bonus to its attack rolls, and remains with me until the end of my next long rest.
You reanimate your former commanding officer. His face and body have been perforated many times by wounds. He seems mindless. His jaw hangs open. It is a horrible sight, but he somehow shambles to his feet. Let me roll initiative. He will go after nothing gold. It remains your turn, Euros. You sense you have perverted the natural order. This is truly horrible.
So I will issue a verbal command to him.
You do so.
At his turn, and I will request for him to yell as loud as he can for all Flaming Fists to stand down.
His turn is coming up.
And then I will move next to Kamar, and I will hold action.
What action are you holding?
Oh, wait, no, I used mine.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything left, as far as I know.
Well, I can do a second attack, technically. But I guess it's... Actually, I can't. I'll just hold my reaction and bonus action, then.
Okay. Gasmir.
I've just witnessed some shit go down.
You saw something horrible. I'm sorry.
Nope, I'm processing that. Yeah, zombie Avery joining our ranks. Yeah, that checks out. Seems like something that would happen today. I'm hearing that Euros is apparently commanding this creature. She will turn her attention with a snap of a neck towards this executioner that's still hanging out.
He is clutching his halberd. His visor is down. It's hard to see much of his face, but you sense he is still there, fighting, willing to kill.
Zombie Avery's turn is not yet, so he hasn't ordered them to stand down yet.
Correct.
Attacking the executioner. Eight plus something. I think it's 16.
16 misses.
That's what I thought. I will keep slicing. Oh, that one actually hit. 15 plus 7, which is like 22.
22 hits.
We'll do 8 points of slashing damage, and I would like a wisdom save as something black oozes from the wound and sears out his mind.
Wisdom say, I have a feeling, 8. I have a feeling he failed.
He did fail. I will choose to do damage. So this is 2d12 psychic damage. That is a 7 plus a 7 plus 8, 5, so 12 points of psychic damage. Well, that hit, and I'm gonna... Help me out. That was hit number 2, right?
That was hit number 2.
Got 2 left. More claws! More claws! That's gonna miss. That might actually hit. 12 plus 7 is 19.
19 hits.
Whoa. 4 damage, so that is 12 points of slashing damage. I don't think I can do the thing again. I think it's just once per turn.
Which thing?
Infectious Fury, I think that's just once, but I can check.
The Executioner seems very worse for wear. You've bloodied him. He is brutalized by your attack after attack after attack, and you wringing his brain right into his skull.
Actually, there's no limit on this, so I'm gonna do it again, so another wisdom save. 15.
One moment. He barely fails.
He will take more psychic damage. 6 plus 8. Read about it, counting right now. 14. 14 points of psychic damage as his head pounds with a fury that eats at his mind. And wounds ooze.
He dry heaves and has a hard time staying on his feet as his brain bounces around his skull. You see his eyes growing red with fury and fear. Gasmir, anything else for your turn?
What death is coming?
Perhaps it is. Brenner, Oswick.
Seeing the reanimated corpse of Captain Avery in front of him, or Major, my apologies, he just spits out, "Disgusting." Turns on heels and approaches the warcaster behind him.
He is standing there. He has both eyes closed and he is holding the concentration on this firewall.
If he's not looking, the spears go into his chest.
Taldred's wolves have already ripped at him. There's blood running down his face.
15.
15 misses.
17.
17 misses.
It's a bad day. He'll just look up to...
Fire is too much for your spear.
He'll just look up to Taldred. Take care of her. So he whips his head backwards up towards the executioner's stand.
Taldred nods.
He will end his turn.
Nothing gold.
Can she hop onto the back of her stag and then jump up onto the platform?
It'll still take you in action, but yes, you may do it that way.
Alright, well, find and then bonus action healing word, Kamar.
How much do you heal for?
Six.
Roll medicine.
$17.
You pour your wine into a flagon with a hole at the bottom. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Avery's regiment goes. You sense potential dissension in the ranks. One moment. The 4 archers. The captain holds up his hand and points at you, Yoros. Finally, there's someone outside of the wind wall. that he is able to target with his archers. What is your AC?
18.
A rain of arrows flies at you. Each longbow is pointed directly at your center of mass, and they fire and fire. You are right on the edge of the wall of fire, granting you partial cover. Seven misses and a hit. 8 arrows go flying at you. 7 of them embed in the platform. 1 catches your shoulder. 13 piercing. The Warcaster
Sorry, was Avery supposed to go after Nothing Gold?
Avery, no, he is. He's a 14, so he is below his regiment, who is an 18. So he's. I have him on here. The Warcaster casts Fireball, centered.
Is he within my line of sight of casting?
He is. No, he's not. He's through. He's on the other side of the flame wall, behind the courser. He centers it. Hold this thought. How? Let's see. I got it. He centers it on the left side here, just outside the firewall. This will hit Euros, Gasmere, Nothing Gold, and Reanimated Avery.
As is yours, apparently.
So are you. So I need dexterity saving throws, I guess, just from Gasmere, Nothing Gold.
20.
One.
You both take half damage and take 21 fire. The platform is scorched by fire once again. He just tosses a fireball. There is a wall of fire that smashes the platform. This is in addition to the giant wall of fire that is already there. There is just a incendiary blaze across the platform. Fire leaps across any available surface. The bushes catch fire. Smoke billows into the sky.
21 was already half. Was that correct?
Yes, 21 was already half. That's right. It was 42 raw. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Reanimated Avery goes. Euros, speak your command.
My command was for him to shout as loud as he can for all flaming fists to stand down.
His jaw bounces loosely. His eyes are unfocused. He calls out, "Flaming fist, stand down." His voice is heavily distorted. You sense that, if nothing else, the sheer terror of people seeing their former commanding officer reanimated like this is horror enough. His turn ends. Ada, your turn begins.
How much juice do I have left in this telekinesis?
I think it's just about to end. I think it's been about a minute, don't you feel?
Probably. I would like to drop it and cast Banishment on him midair.
Mid-air. I don't see why not, sure.
Fuck it.
What plane do you send him to?
I'll send him to the Mithril Hall, the former seat of Mistress Power, now emptied.
You send him to Mithril Hall. Massive white marble cathedrals, bells and white flames as high as you can imagine, and no one there to tend them.
Let's humble this man.
He is incapacitated and banished for a minute. He ceases to exist on the prime material plane. It remains your turn.
I'll repeat no, that was my action. Okay, so I'm done. Oh, I got my book. My book smashes my finger. My beautiful finger.
Didn't lose a finger, though, did you?
Not yet. We're working on it, though. Hold on one moment. Let me pull up the damage. 24 plus 1 times 2. 4 damage to my beautiful 2 fingers.
Also, may I hand on the piece something? I didn't roll people's fire damage for the wall fire at the end of... Give me 1 second. A little bit of fire damage going up. So this affects... Who's inside? Unattempted. Taldrid, nothing gold. Gastmere. Yoros, the flames lick you but have no effect on you. The flames lick your armor. Nothing seems to happen. What a strange state of affairs. All of the above people make a dexterity saving throw.
Brenner should also be hit with this, correct?
Yes, I'm sorry. Did I not mention? Yes, Brenner is inside the wall within 10 feet.
Crit.
214, so that's a 16.
Also a 16.
14.
Pass, fail. Taldrid, you take... Let me roll it. Taldrid, take 14.
Is that halved already?
No, that's not halved already. That's raw.
So 7.
Yes, everyone else takes 7.
We round down or round up?
Round down.
So NG is down, but her constructs remain awake, and in fact, they can act freely now.
And we are picking back up in the initiative order. Thank you for letting me keep my finger on the piece there. To Lapalesi's regiment.
Can I finish my turn?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. I thought you had finished your turn. My mistake. I'm so sorry.
I would like to flatten out. Hit the
He
deck.
wants to go prone.
Got it.
I want to voluntarily go prone or to a low crouch, appropriate to whatever the terrain I'm on is.
Sure.
I would like to reduce... I just did a lot of weird stuff. I don't want somebody to see me. I would be easily overwhelmed.
You can simply hit the deck here. There is a soft carpet. Must be from the genie that was here. And you lie down on it, making yourself a tiny target should anyone seek to target you.
I'll do that. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay, my apologies. This initiative order is getting extremely complicated.
It's a big combat.
Lapalesi's regiment moves. The courser, having picked his spear back up, charges headlong through the fire. Taldrid, he attempts to trample you. Make
He's
a...
going to take 68 damage first.
Got it. Okay, I doubt the damage is going to down him, so we'll do this. You roll the damage and roll a dexterity saving throw.
24 damage, 2 on the dex save.
2 on the dex save. Okay, 24 radiant. He tramples you with his horse. You take 16 bludgeoning.
Okay, that's going to affect my concentration as well.
He knocks you to the ground. Make a concentration save DC 10.
Okay, I have no idea how to do that exactly. What do I roll?
It's just a constitution saving throw. And it's based on it's either 10 or half the damage, whatever's higher. In this case, it's 10.
Rolled natural 1.
You lose your concentration. Your spirits suddenly blink from existence. You are knocked prone and are lying on the ground. He menaces above you with his spear and then attempts to attack you. You are prone, and this attack is made at advantage.
I'm sorry, how much was the damage on the initial hit?
14 bludgeoning, I believe. I can scroll up in my little dice roll here. Yes, 14. Right, 12 plus 2. Yeah. He attacks at advantage and crits. He attempts to spear you in the heart.
We'll cover him.
You are intercepting some of this damage.
Correct, yeah, he's within 5 feet.
You're right there. You are adjacent to him. You take, hold on. You take, where are we? Okay, sorry. 32 piercing.
Reduced by 8, right?
24.
Sorry, what?
So
Minus 8.
44 damage, yeah.
Minus 8 for the intercept, correct?
Correcto.
Okay, just making sure I'm with you. Okay, still Lapalesi's regiment's turn. Which means his 2 Firesworns and him. The 2 Firesworn to the north here are talking to each other. They seem to have their morale broken. Taldr Talton, it becomes your turn.
I just stand up with my action, I assume, yeah?
You do. You're prone. You have to take your action just to get on your feet.
Action, I stand up. Let's see. Then we're going to bonus action. Healing word on nothing gold. For 22 HP.
She stands up, gasping for breath, like she just drowned in midair.
Not far from the truth. You, with your horror, when you come back into the realm of the consciousness, when you once again stride the prime material plane, you can sense fire all around you. It is a nightmare, nothing gold. Everywhere you look are leaping flames. The horrible smell of sulfur and hair burning.
I believe it is still Taldred's turn.
I was thinking about that.
It is.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to here. And actually, would it be possible even to move to there? Or is that diagonal not possible?
That diagonal is possible, but I think if you're maneuvering around the feet of this courser, even though you're staying within a zone of control, that's going to provoke an attack of opportunity. You can't move too freely around him.
Makes sense. I'll stay right there then for now.
Anything else if you're trying to use your bonus action and use your action just to stand up?
That's it.
At the top of the order, Yoros.
How's this executioner in front of me looking?
Horrible. He has suffered many grievous wounds. He's having trouble keeping his weight on. Perhaps something caught his hamstring. He can't even stand up very well. The fire licks his armor. He's still holding his halberd. His client, perhaps his last one, is at his feet.
Okay. So I've been injured a little bit. I'm just gonna look at him, and I'm just gonna put my hand on him, and I'm gonna cast Vampiric Touch. Fuck, that's not right. It's supposed to be a melee spell attack. 14?
It misses. You reach out and try to touch him, but you only touch his blood-red armor.
It's fine.
Still your turn.
Yes, it is. I will just. We'll just hold my reaction.
Gastmere.
The executioner seems to be hanging on for dear life still.
Correct. He is bloodied and has taken an intense amount of damage, but is still somehow standing.
Castamere is going to decide, because nobody else has done it yet, she is going to be the death that's coming, and she is going in recklessly. Plus, wait, this is plus 8. 14 plus 8 for a 22?
22 hits.
Okay. 7 plus 6, I believe, so 13 points of piercing, slashing? Is it slashing?
Is it your rapier?
Rapier.
It's piercing. And
Piercing.
you pierce neatly through his windpipe. You stab him directly through the throat. He aspirates nothing but blood and falls forward.
He swings the rapier loose with a shower of like droplets of blood in the air.
It's hard to even see them over the raging fire around you.
Oh yeah, there's a fire around me.
Especially after the fireball, there is almost nothing but fiery destruction around you.
Okay, that does change my plan a bit. Oh, since I've got movement and some attacks left, I'm gonna jump down. Into this horse's flank, apparently. And I'm gonna start trying to, like, swing at that rider with the claws, like, with the rider up on the horse, and she's just going, like, you know, as cats do, commonly, but this is a lizard.
And you see that this courser has already been ripped into by Taldred's spiritual Arctic wolves. So your claws could find wounds that are already open.
Since I began reckless, I have to finish everything reckless, so. It's an 8 plus 7. 15.
15 misses.
That's what I thought. Okay, that was second. This is third. 12 plus 7, so a 19. Yes. 19.
19 hits.
Oh, 10 points of slashing damage. She drags a claw down and into like a... You know how armors have these little nooks, and just kind of like digs in there?
You catch a bit of exposed flesh and ribbon it.
Another 12, so the same result, 19.
19 hits.
Uh, 8 points of slashing damage.
You cut from his left hip back. There's just a bit of open flesh here where his belt has ridden down, and you cut into it. Blood showers out. It remains your turn.
She's going to say, and this sounds like she's saying it in a very almost playful manner that you probably haven't heard from Gasme before, but she also sounds a little bit unhinged and says, run while you still can. But she's saying it in a manner like she's like, either way, it sounds like she's going to tear into this guy's throat.
Like you're toying with him.
Yes.
You do so. He has a glimmer of regret as he looks at you. He feels like charging in here was perhaps the worst mistake of his life. Brenner Oswick.
We're missing twice to this Blaze Lord holding the wall of flames. He casts his shield aside and proceeds to use the spear in 2 hands.
You versatile your spear, using both hands to choke up on the shaft.
22.
22 hits.
$11.
11 piercing. Let me roll the concentration. He passes. He holds the spell. You spear him again. And he is getting extremely injured. You stab him, but he does his duty. He is disciplined and holds the spell. The fire still rages.
Just gonna keep digging it. 27.
27 hits.
13 more damage.
13 more damage. You spear him again, this time through the sternum. He does his best to maintain the concentration as he falls flat forward and lands on his side. His arm reaches out with the fencing response as he tries to do the last bit of combat discipline that he has. The firewall slowly recedes.
As the fire recedes, Brenner will place his foot on his chest, tearing the spear out, turning towards the horseman, walking forward. No more attacks. Next. And end my turn.
Nothing gold.
She will take a quick look at the wall, the people on the wall. Do they still look intent, or is there dissent in their ranks?
They look a bit taken aback. Their commanding officer has been reanimated as a horrible revenant, and they are watching with dismay. All 4 still have their bows out, but you sense that their morale is on a knife's edge.
Okay, she's gonna crawl next to Kamar, and with her last level 3 spell slot, cast Revivify.
You reach out and touch her. Her skin has bubbled, and as you reach out, you realize that the warmth you feel must be merely from the fire. You are watering a plant that has been desiccated and browned. It remains your turn.
I think she's just still desperately trying to get some semblance of life back into her.
Foully, you notice that she is still gagged. It remains your turn if you have any further action.
I mean, yeah, try to undo her restraints. Just sort of really absorbed.
You do so. Her hands are tied behind her back. As you tug on the restraints, you realize her elbows, wrists, and shoulders are all limp. Avery's regiment goes. Their morale is broken. The Blaze Lord is dead. Avery is reanimated. The Firesworn, the support caster, looks over his shoulder, as you did at the archers, attempting to discern whether or not this battle is still worth fighting. He is a captain, and he calls out, "Full retreat! Find our strength!" They move to back up. The message of retreat is like an oasis in the desert for these soldiers who did not even want to fight in the first place. Many of them never assumed arms, and you know that this is what they were waiting for, an excuse to break ranks. Avery's regiment ends their turn. Reanimated Avery stands there, completely sullen and silent. Do you give him any orders, Euros?
I tell him just to stand back.
You do so. He stands there, silent and inert. He ends his turn. Ada, from your low position here, taking cover, down here on the carpet, you watch as the Flaming Fist soldiers that were here at the crossroads start backing up. Some of them seem almost like non-combatants at this point. It reminds you of when you were attempting to spare the civilians. Are these not almost civilians too? Does their red armor simply make them a combatant? It becomes your turn.
I will stand up and survey the situation. I heard the surrender call.
There.
And I saw people run by me. I am going to... I have to take my action to stand up, but I could still take my move. I would like to take my move to move toward the group. And I would like to try and get people's attention. Hey, hey! We're gonna have a situation in about 30 seconds. I'm gonna need some help. I'll end my turn.
Lapalesi's regiment goes. There is no major here to command them. They coalesce together and run. Are they cowards?
They're smart.
Is the person on the horse disengaging? Or are they running carelessly?
He's about to. He can't disengage on a horse, but he grabs the bridle of his horse. You sense he's barely conscious. You sense that he is clinging to life. Gastmere, you have an opportunity.
She reflexively and immediately swipes at him when he tries to carelessly leave.
You do so. It is a coup de grace. He is unable to defend himself. You rip him from his saddle. His horse rides north with no rider. You rip him out, and he falls at your feet. You slay a fleeing opponent. You transgress.
Let's do it with style then. She rips him out of his saddle and just like leans down, takes him by the shoulder and sinks her claws into his throat and goes splurt, and then there's blood in a shower.
You do so. It is vicious. It is horrible. Blood showers from his tender, vulnerable throat. It erupts like a geyser over you. Your face is covered in the blood of a stranger. The archers up on top get an order from their captain. He calls out, "Rappel down, west! Find our strength! Retreat!" They move to scale the wall. The Flaming Fist is in a full retreat, attempting to leave the area. Fire burns from the former execution platform. Smoke fills the air.
Are we out of initiative?
I think we're about to be, yes. Why don't we... You're out of initiative. You still have Major Lapalezi in Mithril Hall, suspended far away from you.
At this point, Brenner would approach behind where the resurrected Major Avery is. Look towards Yoros. I can't stand for the... Take out his sword and attempt to strike him down.
You try to finish the job and finish and kill this reanimated Avery, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Does anyone stop him? Yoros, do you stop this?
You not want answers from him?
He could find them in the grave.
Very well.
No roll
Do what you
necessary.
wish.
This is functionally a coup de grace. You kill him.
I will rush up. I need help. I need help. I sent Lapalezi to the Dwemer home, but he's going to be back soon. Right over that wall. When he comes back, all hell's going to break loose. I need help restraining him.
Taldred starts healing then, if he thinks something else is coming.
Asmir straightens with the blood smeared across her face, and she goes, "What? The
Maybe not
where?"
you. Somebody. Please. I can't.
I think
Somebody with a sword.
Where? Where is he?
We're not killing anybody. And I'll motion over here.
You have a few moments to prepare before he arrives back.
I will. I don't know how tall this wall is. I imagine
Get on my
like
back.
On your back. All right. I'll grasp onto your back.
She's gonna leap up and cling to the wall and go over it. Kind of like swinging Ada over the wall with her.
You both ascend the wall. Gasmir, your claws sink into the mortar. You are able to pull yourself, carrying Ada over this wall. There's nothing here to look at yet, but you think you can sense a point there in the air, slightly shimmering with power.
He's gonna fall from here. On my mark. Get ready.
Everyone
going
give
to
yourself 9
restrain him.
HP.
Say that one more time, Taldred.
Everyone give yourself 9 HP.
HP.
And I'm gonna drop the spell.
Oh, I will attempt to tackle a person who's apparently falling from the air.
In a brief moment, he does. The Flaming Fist Major tumbles through the air and lands roughly on the ground. He gasps for air and calls out, "Flaming Fist, to me! Soldiers, to me!"
I'll cast Hold Monster.
Which is what, a wisdom save?
Yeah.
1 second. What's your spell DC? 21?
Yeah.
He fails.
He's held.
He is held there in the air, perfectly still. He is unwounded.
Gasmir, do not kill him.
I wasn't about to. She'll grab this conveniently held person.
Restrain him. Let's take him over the wall.
Let's take him over the wall.
What's your, like, coherence? I'm just trying to bark orders at you.
If I haven't attacked or taken damage, the rage will drop, basically, so the scales begin to disappear. She seems a bit more coherent after that.
I get booked.
It closes on your fingers. This is starting to feel a bit dangerous, isn't it, Ada?
Yes.
You can hear, now that your adrenaline has faded just a bit, you can hear shrieking to your east. You hear people yelling. The fire is truly raging.
We need to get out of here. All of us. Out of the city. Permanently.
We not go back to the temple? What are we doing with him? Gasper's like, dragging this person, I guess.
You can take him over the wall, yes? I won't wait for an answer and I'll cast jump.
Oh. I'll try to scuttle over the wall with...
I do not
Major.
get hooked.
Make a strength
Right.
check. He is in full plate mail armor. He's rather heavy.
That is a 14.
You strain against him. You're not going to be able to get him over the wall like that. You might have to take another run at it. He is heavy. This is a guy in full plate armor, and Ada just left you with him like he was some type of package.
Let's try taking a running start, yeah. Why not? Because I can technically run on the wall as well, so...
Do it again at advantage.
That's a 14 plus... a 17.
You are able to hoist him over the wall. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Good question. You have a completely catatonic, held in place, Flaming Fist Major on your back.
Surely somebody wants to do something with a Flaming Fist Major, like...
I'm going
them,
to
maybe.
run up to the group, frantic. I have I have Lapalezi. He's held. Gasmir has him. We need to get out of here now. Where are we going?
To the temple?
We're gonna carry this bound man through the streets. We need to bind him. I don't know if we can we can stay in the city anymore.
Brenner will, at this point, take the pack off of his back, toss it to your feet. There's chain inside.
You remove your heavy trail pack. There is a length of iron chain in there.
I will start to tie him up. Where are we going? But this time, a good answer.
I think the temple is a good answer for now.
Nothing gold. Is there a hole in your heart?
Yeah, something certainly has been lost today.
I imagine at this point, Nothing Gold is weeping over the corpse of Rashakim.
Kamar.
Yeah, I think she just looks very confused. Like her motions are very erratic, and she's just like, "What's wrong with this person?"
Where are all the commanders? Somebody help. Brenner, Yoros, Taldred, somebody. Tacticians?
Back to the temple.
Temple
Fine,
now.
back to the temple.
You all get another 19 HP.
The street is nearly deserted. There's no one here.
I can't hold him for much longer. Can somebody tie him up?
It's not really my thing.
I don't want to kill an unarmed man. Can we tie him up and do something with him?
Yeah. At this point, if Ada's produced the chain, Brenner will hop off the platform and attempt to wrap the held monster in chain. A 40-foot chain of steel.
I
Or iron.
don't think this is going to be popular with the paladins.
Yeah, I don't think any bloodshed would also depend on which paladin you're at.
I think it will be popular with one paladin.
Fine. We'll figure out the idiotic details later. Let's get out of here.
Is Avery's corpse still there, or did it like disappear with the specter?
It is. His corpse is still. Yes, there are. I deleted them to make obvious what was going on, but there are corpses on the ground if you should you wish to search them or inspect them, anything like that.
I'm just gonna search Avery's real quick.
What kind of a weapon did the executioner have?
Halberd.
The executioner had a halberd.
Let's grab that.
It is a halberd +0. Avery has a number of things on his body.
All this stuff
Take
as
all
well.
of them. I'll take all the stuff, and then I will also take his insignia of the major.
Oh, quick question. Before we go, that tent was their like command tent, apparently.
One can assume.
If Brenna's got this like carrying of this person covered, or somebody, Casimir's gonna take all the. She's not gonna start sorting through it now. She's gonna take any kind of paperwork that's in there and just sweep it into a fucking bag and take it all with her.
You grab a sheaf of papers given no priority. You're just grabbing whatever you can, and you do so, grabbing what appears to be maps, orders of battle, correspondence. There could be anything in here. You'll have to sort it later.
What's in the tents to the south?
Sundries, the living quarters for average soldiers. There are bedrolls, footlockers, simple clothes.
Just to be Taldred, he checks in any place where he might think, like if it was him, where he would stash coins, gold, things of that nature.
Roll,
Checks like under pillows, all that stuff.
roll 2d20.
6.
You scrounge up a total of 6 gold coins.
Fantastic.
You
This
find
is not the time to tarry. I'll yell out.
You find them in all sorts of strange places. Inside people's shoes, under their pillow.
At this point, Blablazzy is conscious, correct?
He is currently still totally rigid, although you know that will probably stop it. Well, no, I'm sorry. He's calling out to no. He called out to his troops. We held him in person. That hold person should hold for a few minutes longer. He is still held.
I will suggest to gag him.
Have anything on me to do that?
Where's my robe? I will scrounge for some sort of material, maybe a banner. Come on, improvise. We don't have much time.
Here's the one they used on her.
Good enough.
Perfect.
You produce a foul gag. It's still a bit wet with saliva.
I assume Lapalezzi's mouth is open from mid-command.
Certainly.
I'll shove the thing in.
You do so. You gag a prisoner.
Let's go. We need to go. Stop
Agreed.
looting. Stop whatever you're doing. We need to go.
Yoros, will you help me carry her?
Fine. I'll just scoop her up and keep moving.
You do so. You have a limp, delicate feeling body over your shoulder.
Taldred pockets the coins. Then he walks over to the part of the execution, the bucket where the heads are kept.
there is the head of the Grim Merchant lying here, looking at you, staring you down.
Taldred picks up the head. He looks at him, and he whispers. He said, "I told you you'd regret turning me down." And then he drops the head unceremoniously.
You do so. You defile a dead body by speaking words to it to prove a point, to show that you are correct. You transgress against the natural order. The eye almost seems to wink at you.
During the interim of all of this mess, Brenner would have also picked up his shield.
You pick up your forgotten shield. It's lying in the charred grass.
Was there more fire around the area before we walked off? Or did it go out with the firewall?
It is mostly there is smoldering small grass fires. You wonder if perhaps those tents will eventually catch fire.
As I'm going, I'm just gonna control flames and snuff them out as I see them.
You do so, firefighting for the city. The body on your shoulder feels slender and delicate as you move your weight to attempt to put out the fires.
Nothing gold will help him with the same cantrip.
You do so, fighting the fires here, perhaps saving Arabelle from eventual destruction by fire. Perhaps not. So, it's about 9 o'clock. Why don't we pause here? And if you could do me a favor, your next stop, as you see fit, is the Temple of the Radiant Heart. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest actually, because they're gonna be passing by the jail, and I suspect it's pretty well emptied. Who knows?
Do you want to? Would that be your intended plan, Jewel? To as nothing gold to stop by the jail, at least survey what's going on.
Yeah, because I think too that would be a good place to hold him if the flames ended up fleeing that as well.
Your intention has been noted. Anyone have any final thoughts before we press pause here? If you do have any additional thoughts, or especially next steps, go ahead and put them in the session chat. Everyone's really quiet. Let's end it here, but everybody okay? What's going on?
I gotta go. I got a 2-hour drive ahead of me. Awesome
Godspeed,
session.
but
Dave,
it was a great session.
Dave, have fun.
Right,
Thank
Dave.
you.
The
The what?
what?
I think he said see ya.
Oh, I thought you said the, and I was waiting for you to...
No, I just said see it. 'Cause Dave's got to go on a Dave drive. A DD, if you will.
That was a crazy sequence.
Well,
Hands up, everyone who expected there to not be combat.
I
I-
figured there were going to be combat.
I didn't want
think
to
it
be
is
combat.
I didn't think there was going to be combat, but there was combat.
I knew the minute that Nothing Gold was first on the map, seeing that she's on her cohort is also on the map, that she was going to dart out, and that at this point, Brenner's not going to let her go down like that. He has to, just got to go in.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was an interesting session about loyalties, I feel like, within the party.
Totally.
Yep.
What we learned is, and this is the most important lesson, the power of friendship. When you kill your friend, you get fire immunity.
It's bittersweet, I guess.
There are benefits to betrayal, I guess.
Yes.
If Avery didn't open his mouth, I probably would have tried to kill you guys.
Really? I was so prepared for you to do so, or to... I didn't know how this was going to play out, so I tried to write around both sides of it, but that's awesome. That's good to hear.
I had a lot of threads planned out in my head, but it's just like he kept rambling, and then yeah, so I was just like, yeah, fuck this.
Turns out that the person with the unfortunate habit of using their mouth was not Aldred, it was Avery.
Yeah.
That's very true. Sometimes a loud mouth meets a louder mouth. Well, I'm going to go eat. You all are the best. Thank you so much for the session. I did apologize before the session, if you recall, so
You
now
did.
you can apply that retroactively, I hope.
We are now 0 for 2 for saving the coveted NPC.
And my backup character, which I want to point out as the ultimate irony.
Your backup character dies before your main character. Well,
It's okay. I just betrayed my entire organization for a corpse.
Hey,
you did.
traded for fire immunity.
At least your gods still love you, Euros.
It's not a god.
You don't think the Seldrain love you?
Apparently they love Talbot. That's pretty good.
Who wouldn't?
Who? Damn it! Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
I knew you were going to say that. You and me have one mind for this stuff. Okay, good night. You guys are the best. See you next week.
See ya.
Next week.
Right.
Yep.